What's up, guys? Welcome to the Pickleball Studio podcast. Today we have a very special guest. We're interviewing YouTube pickleball star Shea Underwood.
How many times do we have to tell you you're not allowed on the podcast? What did you do? Did you just spill a bunch
I spilled a bunch of water. I'm sorry. It's already not to a good start.
Podcast is already ruined.
This podcast was going much better when I was here by myself, guys.
Whoa there.
Well, now we're here and we've ruined it, but you know. Yeah. All right, guys. So we've got Shea Underwood on the podcast. We are all in Atlanta. Well, technically we're not in Atlanta.
Griffin,
but
Georgia.
It's the Atlanta, Georgia APP Golden Qualifier. And since all of us were here, we figured we would have our first guest on the podcast. And who better than Shea Underwood himself? So welcome to the podcast, Shea.
Wow. What a welcome there. Really appreciate that, guys.
Yes. So we've got a ton of stuff to talk about from this tournament. The whole weekend was seriously crazy. There was rain delays. There was a bunch of just wild stuff. So we're just kind of, this podcast is probably going to be long. It's probably going to be a little all over the place. So bear with us. But I think we have a ton of great and very funny stories that will be worth everyone's time.
Making you giggle for days to come.
Yes. So we're going to just start with the events we did. So we'll go chronological, guys. So we'll start with singles. You want to start with how yours went?
Ugh. Why would you start with me
It was
first?
the fastest event.
it was the quickest.
It was the quickest
one.
event for me because I lost. I went 0-2 as my first foray into 5-0 singles. My first, I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just seated really low, but every single event I went to, I felt like I always played the number one seed. So I faced James Bragg like first off in the first round. I beat him in the first set, and then second set he just crushed me. He got warm, crushed me like 11-6, 11-5.
Well, also once he learned how to like deal with your spin serve, I
This
feel like
is
you were
true.
getting him a ton with it.
Yes.
And second game it just like almost did nothing.
Yeah, and then I don't know. I was just feeling super timid, and then I found out he's a super nice guy. And then I found out that he won like 5-0 APPLA, and then a few other tournaments. He won gold, and yeah, he took the whole thing. So I guess I didn't feel that bad, but I think I'm the only one in the bracket or the tournament that took a game off of him.
Yeah.
Ooh, let's go.
Yeah, that's what he
That's
told
something
me.
right there.
That feels good.
Yeah, it didn't make me feel as bad. That's pretty much it for singles for me. Moving on,
It was just a quick 0-2 for Will.
a quick 0-2, and then I faced your buddy. Was it Ryan?
Yeah.
How do you say it?
I say Tatro. I've never
Tatro.
confirmed it with him, but I think it's Tatro.
Tatro. All right.
Okay.
Well, Ryan's super
That's what
cool
we're
guy.
going with.
No,
And
Maybe French. I don't know.
we're friends.
all right. Well, I wasn't feeling so good. I was down 10-0 in the losers bracket. Did you know that?
No, I
You were
didn't.
down 10-0?
You were pulling a Shea?
I was
We'll get to
I was
that.
down 0-10. I was down 0-10, and somehow I made a comeback, kind of, and then I lost 15-13. And I was
Whoa,
like,
what a
respectable.
comeback.
I had to make make a show a little bit because one of my best friends, Jay from LA, came through and he invited his whole family. His whole family came down from Washington D.C. literally to watch me play.
Oh, a bunch of pressure.
Oh my god! Yeah, no pressure at
Wait,
all.
they flew from Washington, D.C. to watch you play?
To watch me lose.
How many people?
So it was Jay, it was his sister, and his mom and his dad. So yeah, four of them. They came through.
And you just decided to not deliver for them.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Put me on the spot. I'm sorry. That's a lot of pressure. I don't know what to think. I'm not used to having fans like you.
Shut up. Get out of here.
The whole entire event, everybody just came up to Chris and was like, "Oh my gosh, love the content, dude. Chris, you're a pickleball superhero." And like, that's literally somebody said that. Somebody said
No, but
that.
I'm pretty sure they said that about both of us.
I wasn't there. I didn't hear it.
Like, wait, is that Will?
Yeah.
Wait, what's your name again?
Yeah, what's your name? What do you do?
I just tag around with this guy, and then of course, Shea, hometown hero. Everybody just feel like just knows Shea.
Yeah, well, yeah, he's
I'm in
from
my
here.
home
He just
state,
knows
yeah.
everyone. Yeah, it's like another day in the courts for him. People are like, yeah, we've seen Shea enough. Like, we're tired of him using our court to do trick shots.
It was to the point where they would come up and like say hey to me, but they would not introduce themselves anymore. And so it was kind of awkward because I didn't know all of them.
Yeah, you didn't know all of them.
You just you knew them. You just don't remember their names.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Correct. The faces, not the names.
Yeah. So
Well-
tell us about your singles, Shea.
Okay, so my singles, we had a very interesting bracket.
Yes.
I was playing 4-5 singles. My second singles tournament ever, playing 4-5. We had 3 people in our bracket. 3 people. Okay, we were supposed to have 5, already kind of small. Last minute, 2 people dropped out. 3 people, so we played a double round robin. I went 3-1. Okay.
points.
got silver.
Wait, how? You went 3-1.
I went 3-1, got silver, but the guy who got gold also went 3-1, and he beat me by more points than I beat him. So we had a higher point differential.
I see. But when you played the guy who got gold, did you beat him?
I beat him the first game, yes.
Okay.
And then he beat me in the third game,
Okay.
and we both beat the other guy twice.
I see.
Right. So one guy walked away 0-4, two guys walked away 3-1, and then of course the guy had a better point differential than me.
You want to know why you probably lost the gold then, right? It's because of that first, was it the second match you played or whatever, where you started down 0-8?
Oh
I
no,
remember
Oh,
that.
started down 0-8 and then
No,
came around and kicked his butt?
it's actually worse than that. So the first match we started down 0-8.
Okay.
I guess would you say 0-8?
0 to 8.
0-8, came back, won that one.
Wow.
Second match,
How much did you win it by?
15-12, I believe.
Yeah, so that's
Okay.
tight
Clutch.
game.
Yeah.
Shay's
And
clutch god.
hey, let's make this story the best part about this story. When Shea is switching sides because it was a game to 15, they switch at half, and he goes, "I'm just doing this for the content. Like I'll win the game, but I just got to make a good story."
Oh my
And we all laugh.
Yes.
But then he actually went and did it.
Yeah. Because, he's true to his word.
Yeah.
He
so
doesn't lie.
so second game, played in a different guy now. Went down, I think it was 0-7. He got 7 points on me out the gate, came back, beat him.
Wow.
Okay.
So stop being a slow starter.
I know. You gotta rev it up quicker.
Dude, it was bad. The third game, playing the guy I played the first game, went down 0-9.
Oh my gosh.
So literally, you could have had the gold, but I hope you got some good.
You just
YouTube
gave him too
content
many
out of it.
points.
Right. And then the fourth game, it was won pretty handily.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, yeah, that's fun.
fun.
Well,
Let's
my
go.
bracket was very exciting. So it was. We only had 5 people in mind, so mine wasn't big. But I think they also capped it at 5 because they said,
Why? Why would they do that?
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Some of the brackets had such weird numberings, and they said there was 10 people on the wait list for mine. So 5. I'm like, just add one more and make it an even 6, so the one guy doesn't get a bye or whatever. So whatever. So I show up, and I'm really pumped for singles because I trained a ton for this one. Like I really, really wanted to get gold at this tournament. So
You really did.
I go in, first match. I see the kid I'm playing, and he's wearing jeans. And I'm like, no way. And not only is he wearing jeans, he's wearing jeans and a cotton shirt. And I'm like, what the heck is going on right now? I was like, I'm going to smoke this kid. Like, whatever. Like, this is probably this kid's first pickleball tournament. This will be no problem. So, first game, I don't remember the exact score, but it was like 11-4 or 11-6. And I felt like I was in control the whole time. Like, I was nervous. So the buildup was kind of slow, but then, it kind of got away and was like, okay, that's fine. Second game, I'm like, okay, we're just going to cruise. Like, just like rip spin serves and just like end this quick.
Did he have problems with it?
I don't think he actually struggled very much.
Wait, just for the audience, his name is Josiah Wagee. Josiah Wagee? Is that how you
Yes.
pronounce it?
Yes.
Okay, and he's from Texas.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, continue.
And so I don't think he struggled too much. Like I might have got a couple free points or like some weak returns, whatever. But that game ends up being 8-11. And we are both in the second game. He was so exhausted that he would call timeouts when he got the serve back so he could breathe and be ready for the next point. And I was like, he's exhausted. Like I have to beat him. Like I'm like, I didn't want to use any of my timeouts because like he's got to be so tired that I'm literally giving him a free break if I do.
Dude, could you imagine? I was thinking he would call a timeout. I thought he was just going to take off his jeans. There's going to be shorts in there, and it's going to be like freeing his weights, and he's just going to destroy you afterwards.
we actually said it would be hilarious if he took off his jeans and had another pair of jeans underneath.
Like or denim shorts.
Or just shorts.
Or
like
jean shorts,
Boris.
yeah. They're just breakaways.
That would be super funny. So basically, he ends up beating me that one. And I was like, okay, I really don't want to go to 3 because at this point, I'm so exhausted. Our points were long. The games were like really good. And then going to the third, like we're both exhausted. I was like, oh my gosh.
Dude, you're sweating so much. I thought you jumped in a pool.
No, literally, my shirt was stuck to me, and the pictures that Will took of me playing, like I'll post these on Instagram or something. There's a bunch of pictures people can make fun of me for or whatever. But I had so much sweat that I was like glowing. It looks like those people, like the models or whatever, that like rub oil on them to make them look shiny. It was so bad. So I'm sweating. I'm sticky. It's horrible. he's wearing jeans, so I don't even know how he's not dead.
He said he wasn't sweating. I asked him after the match.
Yeah, literally, I was like, he was like, my legs don't sweat. And I was like, what do you mean your legs don't sweat?
I'm telling you, he has he must have bionic legs or some prosthetics.
He's hiding something.
We're still not sure what's underneath the jeans.
Yeah, we have no idea.
We don't know.
He wouldn't reveal. So, anyways, third game ends up being 9-11. We were tied at like 9-9, and I was like, okay, just end it. And I just couldn't close it out, basically. And that was kind of frustrating. So, first game, whatever, he gets it. I'm exhausted. That one game or one match was over an hour long, and I burned 1,100 calories. There are full-blown training sessions where I play like 8 singles games over like a 2 or 3 hour period, and I don't burn that many calories or feel this exhausted. Like I actually felt kind of sick. So I ate a bunch of food. I had a break. That helped or whatever. And then losers bracket games, just cruised through those. Like I didn't have any issues with those. It was like maybe 15-6 and like 15-8 or something. I don't know. Those ones, I really didn't have an issue. I wasn't nervous. Felt fine. Whatever. Silver medal match or the bronze medal match, Josiah told me, he was like, this guy's got a bad backhand. Just hit it to his backhand. And he's lefty, and he hits a forehand weird. The dude starts up on me like 5-0 or 6-0 or something. And I was like, oh my gosh. He had a spin serve too. And for whatever reason, I couldn't read it. And I was like, I've never had a spin serve I can't read.
That's
wasn't
scandalous.
he the one who had the spin serve that he spun it backwards?
No.
Okay.
So what ended up happening is, like first game he beats me. I don't even remember what the score was, like 6-11 or something. And then the second game I realized, I was like, you dummy. He literally does it how everyone does the Morgan serve. And it took you forever to realize this. So after that point, serve was no longer an issue. I just had a brain fart. I was probably nervous. Who knows?
Was it confusing because he was left-handed and so he was flicking it with his right hand?
You know, that actually could be part of it because I've never played a lefty spin serve person. So that actually could be a big part of it. But it kind of looked like instead of facing his wrist forward or something, it looked like his palm was facing towards the ground. So it looked like he was spinning it like on an axis that it shouldn't kick.
I see.
So that was just what confused me so bad. But I actually bet you're right. It probably was because he was lefty. So second game comes. Also, I'm just going to rewind real quick. All the games I played in the loser bracket, I had either my opponent after the game or all my friends tell me, you are calling horrible lines. And not,
Yes.
I'm not calling in balls out. I'm calling out balls in.
Yes.
It's the reverse of the issue that everyone else has. People would be like, dude, that ball was like a foot or two out and you played it. And I could tell a couple times my opponents, when I played the ball, they would kind of pause and look at me and see the balls coming back and that I didn't make a call. And they're like, oh, wait, we're playing the point.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, I must have.
You're such a philanthropist.
Yeah. You know, most of the time you look at the ref and say, ref, did you see that? I think a couple times maybe the ref looked at you and said, are you sure?
Are you sure? Yeah. You know, that's probably, the ref probably was a couple times like, this guy's an idiot. Like, he's throwing. He's for sure throwing. So in the silver medal match, or the bronze medal match, I'm up 12-11, and I'm feeling good. And he hits a ball that, to me, looked like it just barely clipped the line. Or it was so close that I thought he would be, like, angry if I called it out. So I didn't. I don't want to be that guy that gets to the third game by calling like a bad line or whatever. And so a long story short, he ends up winning that game. I got bronze. And then everyone after that, including his friends, were like, dude, those last like 3 balls you played were way out. And so I'm going to go back and watch the footage later and see how bad it actually was. But
And you're going to go through that experience again. And
oh,
you're gonna feel like an
we got to
idiot
torture
again.
myself,
Oh
just
my
for next
gosh.
time. But singles was great. I felt like I played really well. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. Shout outs to Josiah, though. That was the best.
The Denim Demon.
The Denim Demon. Yeah,
Yes,
that
that's what
was
we
his
call him.
nickname. No, because, all right, so I took a story after you came out, and I was just like, oh my gosh, are you Chris Olsen? You're the best 3-5 player I know that plays 4-5 and 4-0 or 5-0.
Yeah, 5-0.
Yeah, and I took that story and then I posted it on my socials. And then everybody, since he's from Texas, some people in Oklahoma know who he is. They all responded with the same things. Dude, that's the Denim Demon. And I was like, oh my gosh.
He has
That
a
is-
name.
That is the baddest the most badass nickname I've ever heard, and I love it.
It was ridiculous. I couldn't believe it. We kept saying the whole time after we finished our first match, we were like, why didn't we save that for the gold medal match? Like, why did we expend so much energy in the first match? And because a lot of people were watching. When whoever, I don't know how many of you guys were watching, but I could like hear people cheering.
Yeah.
And it was like, if I understand now for the pros, like why I feel so exciting. I was like, you hit a great shot and everyone's like, whoa.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my gosh, I feel alive.
No,
right
but that's
now.
the thing your game and also the court that it was on, like, because it was, really
like
visible.
perfect, yeah, super
perfect
great
visibility,
visibility.
right in the alley where everybody's walking through. Like, people stopped to watch your game. Like Kyle McMakin stopped.
Okay, yeah, this is a great story.
All right, you can tell the story.
Yeah, in the middle of my first singles match is like maybe the third game. No, it was the second game.
Yeah.
Kyle McMakin, who you probably all know him better as the cowboy hat guy that plays pro pickleball, took a game off Jay DeVilliers. I found out that he didn't actually beat him. He did. I was like, oh, you beat Jay DeVilliers. And he's like, everyone thinks that. But no, I didn't. So sorry about that. But anyways, cowboy hat guy. He comes up to me. He looks through the fence and he goes, is that Ben Johns? And I was so confused because I'm like sweating. I'm tired. I'm stressed. And I just laugh and I'm like, which one of my friends put you up to this? I was like, I pointed all of them and I'm like, which one was it?
And we were all like,
And they're like, it's not us. And he goes, none of them. And I'm like, you're lying. I'm like, one of them told you to do it. There's no way you thought I looked like Ben Johns. And he goes, no, from the profile, I seriously think you look like Ben Johns. And the ref's like waiting to call the score or something, whatever. So like we go back and play. And then we chatted with Kyle just a bunch this weekend. And after I finished that match, people kept like, no one came up to me and asked for like an autograph thinking I was Ben Johns this time, which has happened before. But people were just like, you must be the guy everyone thinks looks like Ben Johns. I go up to the concession stand and the lady's like, you're the young man that looks like Ben Johns. And I was like, I told Will or Zach, someone, I was like, yeah, I think that joke is dead now. Or like, I don't think people think I look like him anymore.
You definitely
because
do
people
that.
know who I am instead of just being like, oh, it's Ben.
Yeah.
But nope, it's clearly still alive. And I don't think that joke's ever
no,
going
man,
away.
your fans came through. Like, I talked to like two people who were cheering you on who came to. I was like, oh, how do you know this guy or whatever? And they're like, oh yeah, we love his videos. And I was like, me too.
Me too. I'm glad you weren't like, really? Why do you watch them?
Hey, can we just for a second, can we go back to the singles match where I believe Josiah won gold, correct?
Yeah, he did.
So Josiah won gold, and in the picture
Oh my gosh.
of the winners, like on the podium,
Yeah.
you see Chris, who got the bronze.
Yep.
And then you see the guy you lost to, who got silver, of course. And then you see this guy in the middle wearing jeans, boots, and a cowboy hat.
Yes.
Yes. And everyone, when I posted that podium picture, they're like, no way you lost to a guy in jeans and boots. Like, they're making fun of me. And I'm like, guys, yes, he beat me in the boots.
No,
Or, sorry, no, he beat me in the,
jeans.
no, he beat me in the jeans. He wasn't wearing the boots. I was like, come on, guys, I'm not that bad. Like,
Yeah.
I'd beat him if he was in the boots.
Man, if he
Maybe.
if he was, I would have yelled when I took that photo. So he's 3'5" at best.
Yeah. It was, oh my gosh, Josiah, he is ridiculous. And then I guess we'll go into doubles and we'll just, we'll go in reverse order. We'll start with me and Shea. Okay. So Shea, when I told you I was coming to Atlanta, you were like, we got to play together. And obviously you have like gone up the ranks quicker than I have. I think everyone here knows I play 4-0, or if you really know me, you think I'm a 3-5. If you're a fan of the podcast.
I also think it's safe to say that out of three of us, Shea is definitely the better player out of all three of us.
100% Shea is
sure.
definitely the better player. So you were like, let's play this tournament. And I was like, well, what do you want to do? I was like, we're a whole skill division apart. You were like, oh, we'll just play 5-0. And I was like, shoot, this is going to be bad. I was like, dude, it's a golden qualifier. And then you were like, I don't really care about the ticket. So that actually did help because I was like, okay, if he's not worried about the ticket, then like, screw it. Whatever. Going into this, like, what was your expectation?
So my expectations were, I have a good friend who's coming down, another content creator. I thought it would be amazing if we could just get in there, maybe take a couple games. We're mic'd up, having a great time, filming our matches, right? And honestly, just have fun and see how it goes.
Sure.
I always want to win, of course, but at the same time, I recognize that, we might be playing in a bracket that we shouldn't be in, and I just want to have a good experience.
Sure.
However, we did not end up recording
Any games.
any games or any audio. So instead, we just signed up for 5-0 and got beat.
Yes, and the reason that we didn't record any games is because there was a ton of rain over this weekend, and so all of the amateurs got moved indoors to a gym floor, blue ball, blue lines, like balls are flying everywhere. Basically, heavily unideal conditions. If you've ever played indoor pickleball and outdoor pickleball, you know how different these are. What are you laughing about? What are you laughing about? I need to
Shea
know.
just tapped me, just looked at me like real slow, like it was like blue balls.
Oh my gosh, jeez. We're keeping that on the podcast. I don't know, whatever. I don't even care. But like, okay, so like super unideal circumstances. I really don't like playing on the gym floor. I'm partially colorblind, so like visibility is not great. And the game's different. So that's why we didn't record anything. The layout was really weird. And then at that point, we're like, what's the point of being mic'd up? So let's walk through game one. And while we're talking about this, I want like what was honestly going through your head, like one, so that I know what I need to improve on. Like I'd love to know what you thought, because I could tell there were several times where like I'd mess something up and like you would turn around and I could just tell partially by body language that you were. Here's what went through my mind.
Was he upset at you? Was he like, oh my gosh?
He didn't. It wasn't that bad, but I could tell Shea was basically like
disappointed dad face.
I was
like,
trying not to do coach mode, you know?
Yeah. Which honestly, I probably would have been fine with. But it's like, at some points, it's like, well, what can you really fix in this scenario? Like, I would make some really dumb mistakes, like just hitting an obvious out ball because I was nervous and I was like,
nah, man.
I was trying to play setup, and
That's the hardest skill in pickleball.
well, it's true. Letting it not some of these balls. You can ask Shea about that, but
My man's hitting scorpion shots on balls that are like hitting the back wall.
literally. And the reason was because I would go, okay, that ball's going out. Let's get out the way. And then all of a sudden, something in my brain would go, no way, that ball's going out. And then my arm's like behind my head, and I'm trying to slap it, and I just slap it into the net. Or so I don't particularly love being sped up at, and people would just speed up these super slow balls, like mildest flick in the world, and just I jump, and they'd square me in the chest, and I'm like, what are you doing? So, okay, so walk me through the first game. Like, what were you thinking?
Yeah,
the whole time?
so I also just want to tell the people at home watching and listening right now, Chris, you really did not play that bad.
I
Yeah.
really
You really
honestly,
didn't.
okay.
You're making
game-
it sound like you were just like terrible. You got like one ball in the entire day.
Okay, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah,
It
you
wasn't
may
that
be,
bad.
One,
You may be 3-5
game
at best,
one
but
was
you did
for
good.
sure the worst game.
Uh-huh.
To me, that's where I felt I performed the worst. After that, I settled in more. But yeah, so like walk me through game one. What was your like experience with it?
Okay, so game one, we get onto the courts. We were playing two guys that I think I've played in a tournament
Oh,
before.
and real quick, these were 1 to 15. They weren't doing 2 out of 3 because limited courts or whatever. So that added a whole other dynamic. But
Yeah,
continue.
so the entire week leading up to this, Chris and I were talking. We're like, dude, we've got such great spin serves. I cannot wait to get out there on those courts,
Yes.
see how much these Duras kick, and just take home some points with our spin serve. So we get to the indoor gym floor. We have these balls that are literally blue, and they have the largest holes in them possible.
It was hard to hold it in your fingers.
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
it
spin
was.
Tough, man, and they just did not kick.
Yeah, the gym floor is like too sticky. So I think it grabs the ball so hard that it negates most of your kick. Like the ball does kick,
No, I thought it was slick, and then like so there's no friction. And it doesn't kick.
but it's so minimal that it's just like
Yeah.
it's nothing. It was worthless essentially. We stopped doing them.
Yeah. If you were in outdoors, you guys would have destroyed, because when the first night we came was it Wednesday, right? And you're hitting me. We were going to practice, and you hit me with all your new spin serves, and I was like, you even aced me a few times. I was like, whoa, I haven't seen this one yet, and I was like, dang, you and Shea are going to be just fine.
We were in the lab working. We were having like FaceTime calls talking about our spin serves.
You had lab jackets on and stuff.
Yeah.
Like goggles.
My spin serve now has 1,832 RPM.
Oh wow!
Continue the
I've decreased
story.
the drag coefficient
Yeah.
of the way my fingers lick, so I can generate even a foot more of kick.
Oh my gosh.
That sounds something that you would say.
It does sound like something I would say. But continue while I reset this camera.
Okay, so we got into the gym. We're starting to play the games, and I think we just got off to a kind of a slow start. So one thing that I think, I kept seeing was that they were really flicking balls that were so soft, but they were just in perfect positions, right? And so those balls are really tough to get back sometimes, or typically they'll like start a hands battle, but it was almost like some balls that we hadn't seen before, and so it was really jamming you up.
Yeah.
And the ones that would hit you in the chest, right? So at that point, like you want to get involved as we were playing the left side. I was playing the left side. We
Shay
were
was
stacking
playing
the
left,
entire time.
we were stacking. Yep.
Right, but it's tough, man. I mean, that was our first tournament ever playing together. We're stacking, and obviously they came out. They started target, and it's tough, man, because then they'll hit a ball to me, and I'm so far middle that I get pulled out to the left side to get that ball, and it's really tough to get over the net. I start missing dinks.
Yep.
So now I'm missing dinks.
Yep.
You're getting hit in the chest by softballs.
Yep.
We're hitting scorpions that are like, should be letting those balls go, and we get down to, I think we switched sides. It was 0-8 again. Am I not wrong there?
Yeah, probably not. I don't remember exactly, but we were heavily down. It was bad.
Yeah, but we took a timeout, well-timed timeout, came back, maybe went like 15-7. And
Yeah, it was
the
something like that,
adjustment
yeah.
we made was
Respectable.
we just wanted to start driving the third shots.
Yeah.
We started driving the third shots. We realized that it was really tough to see indoors, and so it was hard to pick up on the ball until it was like right in front of your face.
Yep.
So we started to drive, got a little momentum, and then that led us into game 2, with a little bit of a better feeling going into that game.
Yep. And for me, I think it really took that first game. So I wasn't nervous leading up to it, but then I think once I got there, it like everything kind of clicked. Like for me, I think the indoor really threw me off because in our practice games, I was feeling really good outside. And so it was just kind of like, okay, now I have to are my dinks and my drops going to be off? And so after that first game, I settled down a lot. Second game, I was like, okay, maybe we're just going to go 0-2. So I guess we'll figure it out. We picked who we were going to target in the first game, and it just went ridiculously well. Like we ended up winning that game 15-4, and the guy's partner literally didn't get to see a ball. We joke that he probably saw less than 20 balls the entire time.
Maybe 15 balls.
Maybe
Yeah.
15.
Yeah. So we kept joking. We were like, dude, you paid like $10 each time you hit the ball because of your registration fee.
$10 per dink.
And it's because Shea knows him, knows all the people here or whatever. So basically what just happened, at least in my opinion, was the guy we were targeting was having just a super off day.
He did not look happy. I remember.
Yeah, he wasn't
watching it, I was
happy.
like, oh.
Basically, our strategy just ended up being dink every single ball to him until he makes a mistake or it gets popped up and he makes a mistake.
Smash it.
His partner would come so far over and we wouldn't even go to the open court because we were like,
Not
his
a
partner
chance.
will eventually just mess it up. And Shea hit like a million freaking Ernies. The amount of Ernies I saw in that game. He hit net cord Ernies. Like it was, whole thing was ridiculous.
Best shot in the game, the net cord.
Right. So we're feeling pretty good, right? We had a bad first game, came back, won the second game handily.
Yep.
Then third game, we walk out to the court. Chris, who do we see?
We see the Denim Demon again. My kryptonite shows up in 5-0. The man plays 4-0 singles and shows up in a place I shouldn't even be in. And I'm like, why are we playing? And of course, he's in jeans. He's in black jeans.
Black
this time.
jeans this
I think he
time.
was even in a black shirt. He was just going for some like Batman
Wait,
vibes
was
or
it
something.
was it another cotton shirt?
Oh yeah, it was for sure a cotton shirt. You got if you're gonna wear jeans, you might as well just make it as miserable as possible.
well, this time y'all were indoors, so I guess it wasn't that bad.
and it
He was
actu-
probably cold.
To be honest, I don't know about you, but I really didn't even feel like I broke a sweat in there because the AC was actually pretty good. So I never really got hot. But yeah, this game was interesting. So I kind of already had some experience with Josiah. Obviously, singles is a different game, but I knew like his overheads were good. His hands are pretty solid. So yeah, we started playing the game, and I can't remember exactly how we started out, but it wasn't overly solid. I felt like you and I weren't playing that badly. They just felt like the better team. Like what were you seeing?
Yeah, so Josiah's partner in this game was Chase Mason, and Chase and Josiah are both very good left-sided players, right? And so they were both very used to being aggressive, which is a great game to have indoors.
Yeah.
Because it was tough to pick up on the ball, and when the ball hits that gym floor, it skids so hard, and having any sort of touch on those like weird plastic blue balls is very difficult. So
Sorry.
you like
Oh my
you
gosh,
like that
that
one?
one's dealing with literal children.
What's my age again? I'm sorry.
yeah. You're like 12.
Wow.
People were trying to guess my age this whole entire weekend.
That's true. People couldn't
Dude,
guess your age.
did the
the same
fans
way.
know how old you are?
Most of them
Should
do.
we have them like leave a
age-
guess in the comments?
Yeah, go ahead, leave it on Instagram, wherever, DM me, leave a comment on YouTube. But however you got to message me, just guess Will's age and let me know. We'll see how many of you are correct.
And the winner gets Will's social security number?
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Does that sound good with you, Will?
No, maybe I'll give you one of Chris's paddles.
There you go.
He does have a lot of those.
Yes, we do have a lot.
But anyway, so they just had a more aggressive game. It was really tough to slow that down. And yeah, it was really over about as fast as it started.
Yeah, pretty much. I feel like, so we were down a lot. I can't remember if it was like 3-11. We did have a bit of a run. I think we ended up we had like a 4-point run.
Like 6 or 7, somewhere in there.
Yeah, we got a bunch of points in a row, and we were feeling pretty good after that. But, eventually they just adapted, and anytime a ball went up high, Josiah just like absolutely murdered that ball. And then there was just a couple, again, some dumb, like now I'm getting a little more nervous because we're losing. There was one really dumb ball. Josiah hits like a giant overhead so far out, and I was getting ready to dig the ball out at the baseline. Yeah, this is so bad. And I'm getting ready to dig it, and then I'm like, oh, it's going to be out. And I couldn't get my paddle out of the way in time, so I literally just hit the ball like probably 2 inches from the floor, way out. And I was like, this was near the end of the game, and it drove me nuts. I was like, oh my gosh. This is again where I can just like see the wheel turning in Shea's head, like, what the heck is this guy doing?
Well,
like,
it's less like, what is this guy doing, but more like, what the heck can I do to make this not be so bad?
Sure. Yeah.
Dude, there was one shot you had that was the most interesting thing I've ever seen.
I know what you're
So there's
saying.
a ball that pops up. Okay, Chris is about to hit a monstrous overhead. Man swings. You literally can't hear the ball hit your paddle.
Yeah, you literally don't. I barely felt the ball hit my paddle.
Yeah.
So
but
did you even make contact?
Yeah, so he made
I
contact.
think I hit the hole or like the handle. One of the two. And the direction that my paddle was going was not where the ball went. Like I was going to go cross court to my right because I was on the left side. Ball just goes down the line. And Josiah was like, what?
Wow. It literally sounded like he hit it with a pillow.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Yeah, but it was a winner.
Yeah, it was a winner. It was a clean winner. They didn't
that
even
was
touch
awesome.
it.
Wow.
Yeah, so basically,
Selkirk Invicta 003, softest paddle in the game.
That's
it is
right.
soft. It is soft. We were talking, by the way, we think you need a more powerful paddle for singles.
For sure.
yes. Well, okay, so it's interesting. I was going to play with the Power Air. All my practice for like 2 months has been on the Power Air.
So why?
And then I played somebody, and he was like, you should just try your Epic, because he's pretty good about giving recommendations and analyzing people's games.
Okay.
And he's better than I. He's like 4.5, 5.0 singles player. And I beat him after that. And I was like, oh.
Aren't you 3.5 though?
I know. It's pretty impressive for a 3.5 to beat a 5.0, right? But so after that, I was like, okay. What I realized is my dinking and short game was way better. Like a lot of times with Power Air, I volley it, goes long, or if I'm dinking at the kitchen, I just do super stupid stuff. So I was like, okay, we'll try it. And it felt really good. I actually loved playing with the Invicta this weekend, but I do think extra pace helps a lot. Like, maybe that could have been the difference this time. But I was comfortable with the paddle and I liked it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Experiment next time.
Yeah, so that was pretty much the end of our doubles day. I will say, though, Chris, you are one of the most positive people on the court I've ever played with. Like,
Well, that's good.
Like it was so much fun to play, even if we didn't do that well. You were a great partner, man.
No, it was super fun. And like, I thought what was really fun playing with you is because I don't have this myself, but you're very good at analyzing the other team and also like the mistakes we've made, because you'd be like, okay, I want you lined up with this person and me lined up with this. And basically, here's what I want you to do as your role. And I'm like, okay, if I have something that someone wants me to do, I will just try and set that up and then like let you do your thing or whatever. And I feel like that several times that helped a bunch. And, I feel like you see a lot of times, actually I saw it several times today, which is the last day of the tournament, but just partners like get super angry at their partner. They do something dumb and they're like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I knew Shea wasn't going to do that. I know you're nicer than that, but in my head, I'm like I'm like bracing. I'm like, waiting for him to be like, how do you let that ball hit you in the chest?
Dang, what kind of people are you playing with in Minneapolis?
Well,
seriously, man, who
no one
hurt
does
you?
that to me, but you know who hurt me. Will hurt me on this podcast many times.
I have nothing but positive towards you.
Yeah, okay.
Insert clip, insert clip, insert clip.
Yeah. That's gonna be the clip. That's gonna be the clip for this podcast for sure. But yeah, so I did really enjoy it. I thought it was fun. We ended up going 1 and 2, which for me playing 4-0 at the moment, I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. Like, I'm not there yet, but it didn't feel nearly as bad as I thought it
Yeah,
would.
I will
So,
say you probably had a good duper day.
yeah, I have a feeling my duper is gonna go up
Maybe,
after
maybe
this.
not a super duper day.
Yeah, definitely not a super duper.
I see what you did there.
Hey, let's go.
Let's go.
not sponsored, by the way.
Yeah, not sponsored.
But if
Not
you're
sponsored.
watching,
Yeah, duper, if you're watching, you want to hit me up for a sponsorship. let's talk. Yeah, let's
Yes.
go.
Yes.
But Will, how about you?
Ugh,
Because
here we
you
go.
had quite an interesting story.
Oh my gosh. Well, let's just say this tournament was not the best for me. So when I signed up for this tournament, basically my buddy Gavin, shouts to Gavin, he asked me, he's like, hey, we should play some doubles together. And he's a much better player than I am. And so he was like, let's go to APP Atlanta. I'm like, okay, sweet. Yeah, I'm down. Let's go. And I was like, what are we going to play? He's like, oh, I already signed us up for 5-0. And I was like, what? I was like, do you know that my last foray into doubles 4-0 did not end that well? And he's like, no, it's fine.
But didn't you play 4-5 somewhere and win?
No, I only played 4-5 singles and win. I played
4-5 singles, not doubles.
Yeah,
okay,
I played 4-5 singles in PPA Arizona Mesa earlier this year. And yeah, I won gold in that. And I played 4-0 doubles with my buddy Justin from LA. We never played together. And it was his first tournament. And we got wrecked 0-2. So let's just say my doubles game is not the best. So basically, anyways, a couple days, maybe a week before the tournament, Gavin, he got rear-ended by a semi-truck. Crazy. A semi-truck.
But he's good, right?
He's good. No, thank goodness.
Which is crazy because a semi-truck, I could do some massive... I mean, there's basically very few scenarios where you come out on the other end of
right.
that.
And I was like, wait, why did he rear-end you? And apparently he told me the story that when he talked to the semi-truck driver that he had some very expensive load on the truck and he couldn't slow down in time and he didn't want to veer off to lose the load because that would have cost him his job or something like that. And Gavin was like, yeah, I don't
so
care.
you'd rather just kill me instead?
Yeah. Gavin was like, yo, I don't give a shit.
The classic railroad problem.
You hit
go left
me
or right?
and my wife and my baby are on board. Heck no, lawyers are getting involved. Yada yada. I don't know. Anyways, but they're safe or whatever. And basically, he says that his wife was feeling a little sore. His baby has this weird tick or something like that. I don't know. But some of the doctor's appointments he want to get done right away was a few days right before the tournament.
Yep.
And he was like, I could probably squeeze it. And I was like, no, it would be a bad look if your wife and your baby needed you and they're in pain or whatever, and you went to come play pickleball with me.
Play pickleball, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, no.
You
just
become
stay.
the enemy.
Right, exactly. So I come here, and then, they gave me a random partner. His name is Barry Peltz, and he was all right. He was a lefty, a little bit older person. I think he was 55. Ironically, it's funny. He's friends with this lady named Connie, and Connie is Gavin's aunt.
Oh, funny.
Yeah, very small world member. Anyways, we played a few games the day before, the tournament, and we played all right. But then, of course, we go indoors.
Yep.
Right. And me, I'm having the toughest time seeing. And I was like, man, if I'm having a tough time seeing, Barry, you must be playing blind because that's what it was. There's the same things some speed ups, some softballs, and Barry, there was one. I think Barry went, yeah,
and just missed.
He just missed completely, and it was just funny. He walked it off, or he played it off. He was like, wow. That must have been the fastest, cleanest winner you ever did see because you didn't even hear the ball go to the other side. So that was funny.
Well, at least he had a sense of humor.
That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah. So, I mean, we went 0-2. The first guys who played, I think they were the number one seed. I don't know if they took gold, or they definitely took silver, I think. But one of the guys, I forgot his name, but he played pro singles the day
It was
before.
Mario, right?
Mario, yeah. I think he
Yeah.
went 12-10 against Dylan Frazier. He lost to Dylan Frazier, but I was like, okay, this guy's pretty good. you
Yeah,
know?
this guy's a monster.
Yeah.
Mario's a beast.
Yes, and no, they were great.
Dude, when I watched Mario play
it.
later,
Yeah.
when he was playing Jaden or whatever, the tall kid.
Yeah.
Some of for amateur pickleball, I was like, this is some really, really good pickleball. So
Yeah.
I'm glad Shea and I didn't have to go up against it because I can only imagine that I was gonna get abused.
Yeah.
I never really felt like anyone targeted me in our games. Maybe the first one, but the other one's
No,
I
you
felt
were
pretty
good.
evenly split.
Yeah, you're a really
for the
intimidating
most
guy.
part.
Nobody wants to mess with you.
I'm pretty scary,
You know?
But I was like Mario and them. It's they're just gonna headhunt. They're just gonna
Headhunt.
whack me in the face.
I mean, yeah, I rarely saw balls. A lot of them went to Barry. So yeah, we got beat pretty handily, 15, 5 or something like that. And we tried stag, we tried all these things, just didn't help. And I had a tough time. But I think my next match was the little bit more interesting. So I played this guy named Ramon. And ironically enough, Ramon is from LA. He's also friends with my good friend Justin, the one who flew out from LA to come watch me play. And Justin came through too, and he didn't know Ramon was there. But the thing is, Ramon has a heavy volleyball background, so he has a very interesting grip. He holds it with two hands, and he holds it like you would set like a volleyball or like bunt. I don't even know what
they
correct
call it, set.
bunt a volleyball.
No, that's not right.
Okay,
That's hilarious. How you think it's bunt?
I have no idea what it
setting?
is. Setting is when you have
You
like
push the ball up.
You have the two hands. You make the window.
Oh, I see. You're just talking about like a block
Like
or whatever.
I don't know what this is.
There's like a dig.
A dig.
Volleyball.
Okay, that's what it felt like. So he felt like he just digged every ball, and it was just very, very strange. I was like, okay, I'm gonna try speed it up to his backhand side, but no, the man was quick. And then I was like, okay, this is an awkward grip because he always uses two hands. I was like, I'm gonna lob him. There's no way he can do an overhead smash, right? So I lob him, and you know what he does? He turns around, his back is facing the net, and then he does like a granny backhand volleyball smash like behind the back.
Wow.
And
Like
hits
just
it down
over his head?
Yeah. Here, you're not gonna see me. Here, hold
got you.
on, Mike. Okay. So he like goes like this. He turns around. He goes like this and like that.
Did he hit a winner?
Yeah, he hit a winner on me down the line, and like it was like
Did I
nothing.
just walk off the court?
I
I'd be
was-
like, you win.
I
I'm
was like,
done.
what the heck? And then I hit another shot, super like out wide, like they were super far back, and it was almost like a half Ernie, right? And I was like, okay, this is gonna be a winner. There's no way he's gonna get it. Yo, he must have been a libero. I think that's what they call like the guy who digs out the serves from the back, because he dove for that thing and like he hit a ATP like volleyball style, and I was just
Wow.
what?
Dude, I'm telling you at that point, it's like, okay, dude, you won the game. Like, stop showing off.
And here's the thing: I felt like even if me or Barry got that ATP back, he was like up and ready, recovered, because he knew how to dive and fall and recover. Like I was like, this man's a monster.
Absolutely insane.
Like yeah. All right. And the only other notable thing, his partner, I think his name was Jeff. He had the ref call a service fault on him, and he doesn't do anything crazy. Like I think he does just a regular volley serve, and he's about like my height, but he puts his whole body into it. And sometimes when he does the full serve, he's in midair as he's making contact. So the ref called a fault on him, and I thought nothing was wrong. And he was like, "What? What did I do?" He was like, "None of your feet was like on the ground when you made contact with the
Right.
ball." And so
Oh,
I thought that was very interesting.
that is really
crazy. Hey,
interesting.
speaking of interesting faults, I almost got called for a fault because before the game even started,
Yeah.
playing singles, there was a cracked ball and I stepped on it. I
Like you
when,
stomped on
like when
it.
a ball's cracked and you
Yeah.
like step on the ball to like make sure everyone knows it's cracked.
Okay.
The ref saw that, was like, "Yo, you can't do that."
Because Shea didn't say anything to the ref. He just saw it was cracked and then like stomped on it. So the ref basically was just like, "Oh, he's breaking balls."
I think the ref knew that it was like
Oh,
it was
he
a
did?
cracked ball. Yeah, but he was
Oh.
like, "That's you just can't. If it's cracked, give it to me and I'll check it. You cannot like step on a cracked ball."
You're just starting off your tournament great. You just make a ref angry, and he's like
I
trying
go
to start
0 and
8 on
get
all
a
your
get a
matches.
fault called on me. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Very
Yeah, so there you guys. Yeah. So don't ever step on a ball in a tournament.
Yeah, don't do that. It's
Until you
bad.
ask the ref. Okay.
Till you ask the ref. Yes. But yeah, those were basically our events. The indoor portion, really was
Tragic.
not ideal. That was not fun for anyone. But I got to give it to the APP because there's been other events in the past, like when my brother went to the U.S. Open, it rained, and they just said, tough luck. So he just paid a whole plane ticket, hotel, everything, and literally didn't get to play a game. Like,
Nothing.
not even one game. So props to the APP because they had to set up all these other, there was like 3 or 4 offsite locations. The pros played at the main venue under some cover, and they had to do like one game at a time. I know they stayed up really late. They worked really hard. So if any of you work at the APP and see this, we appreciate what you do. We know it's hard work. It's obviously not ideal, but
Yeah, we wanted to mention also Ken Herman.
Yeah.
I believe he's like, I don't know, like CEO of the
he
APP
like
or whatever
started
it is.
the APP.
Yeah, but that man, it's crazy to see all the different hats that he wears at this tournament. Like
He's everywhere.
He's like taking out the trash. He literally served people sweet tea. Like, the man is doing everything. He's so chill and so friendly. So that's really cool to see coming from like a big tournament like that.
And he's really good. I mean, I doubt he'd remember me at this point, but he is really good at remembering names. When I first met him in Arizona, my buddy came up, was like, he was on a run, and he was like, "Can we get a picture with you real quick?" And he's like, "Yeah." He stops his run, takes a picture, and then later he's like, "Hey Chris, like, how'd your matches go?" And I was like, "Why the heck do you remember my name? Like, there's no reason you should remember my name, or even, as CEO of like anything. In what scenario are they like, oh, let me just talk to like this guy over here? You know what I mean?" So Ken is a really cool guy. It's fun to see him around. If you're ever at a tournament, say hi to him. Tell him thanks. These guys work real hard. They're traveling like every single weekend. Can only imagine how hard it is. So, yeah, that's that. But moving on, I guess, should we talk about AJ's mission real quick?
Oh, yes.
Oh yes.
Oh my
All
gosh!
right.
I'll riff. You guys know more about this than me, so I'll just kind of like riff raff back and forth.
All right, AJ. All right, AJ's my buddy. He's from Texas, and he was my partner when we went to go stat MLP together in Newport Beach, and he's on a mission. He's never played singles before, but no, he's never played singles before. Yeah,
Well, hang on. Never played singles, period, or never played in a tournament?
never played singles like in a tournament. But he
Okay.
also tells me like he doesn't play singles like pickleball.
Sure.
So I mean, I'm sure he's played it, but you know, I know he does. That's normally what he doesn't. Not normally what he does play. So he's definitely like strong 4-0, 4-5 doubles player for sure. Has great strokes. Probably has the best overhead. Like
His overhead is huge.
is huge, and he's like.
Is he from here?
What do you mean?
Is he
here?
from Atlanta?
No. I just he's from Texas.
Oh, sorry. I totally just blanked out there, I guess.
He's from Texas. So he's I don't know if I would say he's a fan. He must be a fan of David Dobrik. But basically he saw David Dobrik. For those that don't know, David Dobrik, you know, very famous
Internet celebrity,
internet
like
celebrity.
20 million subscribers or something on
Right.
YouTube.
He apparently plays pickleball.
Yeah, he got into pickleball. He actually plays with some of the top pros. Like he's like 3-5, 4-0 player, but because he's so famous, like he just
Not 3-5-4. You seen some of those clips that he's playing?
Yes, but trust me, if you saw the gold medal match in New York, okay, 3-5 probably not. But here's the conclusion we came to. Me
Yeah.
and my brother watching him in New York.
Okay.
If I played him,
Yeah.
I think I would have beat him
You
pretty
would've whooped
handedly.
him.
And so at first I teased him because like you're
Not
sandbagging.
even close, right?
Yeah, not even close.
We got to get this match.
I
we
could
gotta
have
set
put
up.
jeans on and beat him. I'm just kidding.
Whoa.
But no,
What about
so
boots?
well, maybe not the boots. You
Okay.
would slide in boots though. But so I don't think he would have done amazing in 4-0, but he was like kind of could probably beat most 3-5s. So
Okay.
he was kind of in a weird spot.
Okay.
And the reason I know all of this is because he came to the APP in New York,
Mm-hmm.
and my brother was in 3-5 and was one match away from getting to the gold to play David Dobrik. So that's how we met him. But yeah, he's just famous guy on the internet, does vlog stuff or whatever. Now
Yeah.
plays pickleball.
All right. And I mean, he has a heavy tennis background, but he won in New York. So
Yep,
he got,
he
a
got a golden ticket.
He got a golden ticket. So AJ knows about this. So AJ literally looked up like the next golden ticket qualifier. And he's like, I'm going to play 3-5. I'm going to win gold just so I have the chance to play David Dobrik and destroy him.
Can we also say AJ played no other events at this tournament? He literally flew
only
down to
play- he
only
only
play
flew to play
singles
singles?
at 3-5.
Yeah. He only came.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
That's how dedicated he was to this mission.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, and I totally forgot about it because if I had remembered this, I might have asked him to play like 5-0 doubles with me when I figured that Gavin couldn't come. I should have asked him to play with me. I don't know if we would have fared that much better, but I could have used his.
Well, so I saw a
overhead
couple of
smashes.
his games. Like one of the games he played, he was smoking this guy. Like it literally looked like AJ wasn't trying.
Yeah,
Right.
game one. You want to talk about it?
Yeah, I mean, you guys probably saw more of it. I think that's what I saw too, but you guys probably saw more
No,
of
he
it.
smoked it. He smoked him. He won like 11-0.
It was like 11, 1-11.
It was 11-1, like 11-0. Here's the thing. He told me after the game, he was like,
Oh my gosh, I know what you're gonna say. This is so bad.
he said, dude, I was actually trying to give him some points. I was actually trying to miss a few or just hit him like shorter, but like I hit it and they just became winners off my battle or something like that.
Yeah. And the reason why he was trying to miss some points was because he thought that if he beat him by too much of a margin,
Yeah.
his rating would go up so high that he couldn't play David Dobrik.
Yes, and how this works for those of you that don't know is at nationals. So like let's say I win 5-0 singles, but my UTPR is 3-5 when it's time to go to nationals. They make you play 3-5 instead of 5. Like you don't play what you won in. You play whatever your UTPR is. So he was talking to us and he was like, so how does this work? Like if I win too many points, because in Duper, a lot of it's based on winning the match wins the most, but how many points you get also matters. So let's say you're a 5-0 team playing a 4-4 team and they get like 8 points. Duper's like, okay, they're probably better than a 4-4 and maybe you're not a 5-0. So the ratings switch up. So we were talking about it, and I was like, I don't think that's how UTPR works, but I honestly don't know. So that's why he was set on trying to make sure that he gave away some points.
Okay. Funny thing is, though, in his next round, I forgot who he played, okay? But he actually lost.
Was he trying to spot points in that too?
No, he wasn't. He was actually trying his best. Well, here's the thing. He was like, okay, I won the last game pretty handily. So I guess he was trying to take it more lax. And he's like, oh, crap, this guy's good. And he was, and I saw it from afar, like, you know, on the back court or wherever he was at. And I was like, dang, these guys are smoking this ball from the baseline, right? And basically, long story short, he basically lost that game. He was super disappointed. He came out and he told me that the ref who reffed that game was like, wow, this is the best 5-0 match I've seen all day. I reffed all day. And I just thought that was the funniest thing.
That's really funny.
He didn't know that it was a
Wait, he didn't know
match.
what it was?
I guess he didn't know what it was.
Oh
but that's
my
what the
gosh.
ref said. I don't know if the ref was being sarcastic. I wasn't there.
Sure.
But he says that's
sure.
what the ref said. And then after that, AJ was like, okay, there's some sandbaggers in this. And I was like, dude, you're the sandbagger.
You're the sandbagger. You're the problem. You literally came into this going, my only mission is to get the ticket that David's in.
I mean, he just wants it just to play David. So, I mean, I kind of get it.
I just got to say, just so everyone knows, I do not condone these actions. I still hate sandbagging. I think this whole thing is much more funny than the usual sandbagging stories. But it's all, okay, here's where, and I'm curious where you guys fall with this.
Yeah.
Obviously, he doesn't play singles. And he like hasn't been to a tournament for it. So like 3-5 is kind of the default. But if you play like 4-5 doubles or something, do you really think you're only going to be 3-5 singles? Like do you think that's the play, or do you think you go like 4-0?
I think you
Let's take David out of the equation here.
okay.
What do you think he should have done?
Are you talking about AJ?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What should he have played?
I think that he knows that he's stronger than a 3-5.
Okay.
But the system is so flawed and so many people take advantage of it.
Yeah.
That it's almost like the top levels are thinned out because everybody's sandbags.
Sandbags, yeah.
Seriously, like
Yeah.
5-0 sometimes seems like it's a little easier than the 4-5 brackets. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think he was totally in the right to take advantage of it.
Right.
Wasn't there the change you want to see in the world, right?
Right. But didn't you say there was a 5-0 player playing in the 3-5 in his
Oh,
bracket?
dude, so I thought there was. Turns out there's 2 Rob Bixlers in the world.
Oh, okay.
Only 2 Rob Bixlers in the world, in the entire world.
Yeah, because you were like, I think you thought this Rob Bixler was. You said he was like a 5-0, strong 5-0, like senior.
Yeah,
or
I was
something.
like, he's like really good.
Okay.
He's
Did
playing
AJ
3-5
smoke
here.
him?
It was a tough match.
Oh, that one was a tough match?
It was tough. I don't know. I don't want to spoil all of AJ's story.
I mean that's as far as about I can remember, but I just know he made it through the back draw, and then he basically came back and he won that golden ticket. So he came, he saw, he conquered. He was on a mission, and he got it.
Yeah, I did talk to Robert Bixler. Funny enough, his name is Robert, not Rob.
Oh.
Talked to Robert Bixler.
What a
at the
difference.
at the end of that gold medal match, and he did let me know that AJ was indeed sandbagging. He wanted to make that very clear.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Did he say that?
Yeah,
Because
so
I
they played in
remember
the gold medal match.
I remember hearing, maybe I was playing rec or something. I don't know what I was doing, but I could hear screaming, like audible yelling, like anger. And I'd like look over and I'm like, oh, it's AJ's match. And I was like, oh, this is bad. I was like, we're not talking. It was almost kind of the one where you look over and you're like worried. You're like, someone just get hurt? Is there a fight? Like what's going on here?
Well, I'm glad he came out of it, full body intact, didn't get no bruises.
Yeah, let's
paddles thrown at him.
Yeah, let's be glad no one got hurt at this tournament. But yeah, that's
the AJ side. We'll keep you
AJ's
posted.
Mission.
Yes,
We'll see if I told him it'd be hilarious if David Dobrik just immediately loses and out of the tournament before he can play him.
Or just doesn't even play.
Or
He just doesn't even
David
go.
just doesn't even show up to the tournament. Yeah,
Right.
he could just do that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if he was for sure he was going to go. I think he will. He seems like he's playing a lot of pickleball. So
Yeah.
I'd be shocked if he didn't. But yeah, there was that. And then basically Saturday, with the rain or whatever, we decided let's go over to the venue, see if we can play some rec games either under the roof or maybe some of the courts are dry. No, it was wet. But what was kind of exciting is there was only one court that the
Yes.
pros could play on that was dry.
Yep.
And there were 4 courts around that and then some like roof for people to sit and watch. So all of us were super close watching these pro matches. There's only one game going at a time. So all of the focus is on that one match. So that was pretty cool. And there's a lot of funny stories from this.
All right,
Dude,
yeah.
So cool.
What was your favorite story from this, Shea?
Yeah, well, I think it's really interesting because there were no cameras.
Yeah, there was no stream cameras.
Right. So I think the pros also realized that. And because they realized there were no cameras, they could be very free with what they were doing.
And what they were saying.
Yeah, what they
very
were
free with
saying.
what they were saying.
Guys, I think we probably all have like the same, I'm imagining here the same favorite story. And that was Julian Arnold and Rafa Hewitt playing together.
Oh my
The
god.
best
Oh
pro tour
my
combo ever. Like,
God.
I hope
So good.
so badly that they stay together. Do not break up that partnership.
So good. So I don't know the exact scenario, but I believe it was Julian like maybe missed a ball into the net, and they're going back to like return the next serve, and Julian just goes, "Feel me, Rafa, feel me." So funny.
It was the funniest thing. Like, I think I was turned around in a conversation when that happened, and I literally told whoever I was talking to, I was like, hold up, I gotta go watch this, because it was like Julian Arnold's already so fiery and he says some funny stuff.
Yeah.
But when you hear him shouting "fuel me,"
Fuel me.
you're like,
Yeah. Wait, did he say feel me or
no,
Fuel, like gas me up.
Gas,
Gas
like
me
gas
up.
me up. Say something, like get me fired up.
Did Rafa say?
He didn't say
He was
anything.
like, "Let's go, Jules."
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought he
probably
said,
something
did you
like
take
that.
premium or do you take?
Okay, that would have been hilarious.
It was like, you know,
Ethanol
gas prices
free.
kind of high right now. You better watch out.
Yeah, what kind of gas do you take?
But Rafa matched his energy. Like he was also very like into
Oh,
it.
they
very
are the
energetic.
loudest players on the
So
tour for
much fun
sure.
to watch.
Yes.
Yeah, it was amazing. And
Amazing.
maybe my favorite story, because it was also against Julian Arnold
Yeah.
and Rafa Hewitt. It was playing Kyle Yates, and who was his partner?
Who was his partner?
I totally can't remember. Whatever. It
blanking
doesn't
right
really
now.
matter.
Can't remember.
Kyle Yates is the one that matters in the story. So I think Julian Arnold and Rafa Hewitt call a timeout.
Yeah.
And so Rafa always stands his paddle up. So like he sets the butt cap on the ground so you can see the paddle standing up. And I'm sure he does it as like a funny sponsor thing or whatever. Like, oh, the camera will see my paddle. I think they've even cut to it a couple times.
Yeah.
Whatever. They both stand them up.
Yep.
And we're all just like chilling, timeout, we're waiting or whatever. Kyle Yates comes running out of nowhere
Yeah, I
from the
remember
other
this.
court
Yeah.
and kicks the paddles over
Yeah.
and then runs back.
Giggling like a little schoolgirl, like,
yeah, like laughing. And the whole area just laughs.
Yes.
And Rafa just goes joking. He's like, "Ref, he crossed the plane of the net. He can't do that." Like there was again, because no cameras, and I think the more intimate audience and one court,
Yeah.
they were just more willing to be goofy for certain things or be funny. Like it was fantastic.
Yeah, it would have been great if like we had more, I guess, video recording. You know.
Well,
of
Kyle
that.
McMakin or whatever he streamed it on his phone to his personal
that's right,
Facebook,
that's
like
right.
the whole thing.
The whole thing.
Yep.
Actually, also shout out to Rafa because he confirmed the story that we
Yes.
talked about in the last pod.
Yes. Oh, actually, I think my camera just turned off, so I'm gonna go turn that back on real quick.
Okay,
But keep
pause it.
talking.
Good.
Keep telling the story.
Keep talking.
Yeah.
Can we do a water break?
Yeah, let's do a water break.
Yeah, we'll do a water
Let's
break.
do a cut right here. So, shout outs to Rafa because he confirmed the story. And some of you may or may not have seen it on social media, but there was a clip of Brandon French who just speeds up a ball at James Ignatowicz, like right in the chest, like right below the throat. And you hear Rafa in the back. We're like, "Did that freaking hit you?" Or whatever, just yelled it out. And the story that I was told by my buddy Alvaro was that in a game prior, Ignatius was facing Rafa, and Rafa sped it up or, like drove it at Ignatowicz, and Ignatowicz dodged it. But since James Ignatowicz wears kind of baggy shirt or whatever, it like hits his shirt, right? And James is just denying it, right? And Rafa's like fuming. And when I asked Rafa was like, "Oh, it didn't just nick his shirt. Yo, it hit him in the chest and it ricocheted at an angle. That's how I know it hit him." But he just claimed he didn't know what the heck was going on.
And the ref didn't see it.
And the ref didn't see it. So he was pissed. And then basically, like in the next match, like when he was facing Brandon French nailed him in the freaking chest. And that's why Rafa said it again. It's like, "Did that freaking hit you?" Like way in the back. So Rafa confirmed that. And I thought that was the funniest story.
And shout out to him for confirming that story, because I was like, "Oh wait, he's here. Why don't we just literally go ask him if that story's true?"
Right, exactly. So, he was really nice about it. Honestly, he would look kind of intimidating because he was about to, like, I don't know, get on the court or something. And
Yeah, he was like getting ready to practice.
You mean he was getting ready to fuel Julian Arnold? Yeah. Okay. Speaking of Julian Arnold, okay, in his match against Zane and Andre Deescu,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
And so Andre Deescu plays left side, right, with Zane, and he's an Ernie machine,
Yes.
right? Maybe I don't know. I don't know if it's as much as Declan, but he's an Ernie machine. And it's funny. He got this one Ernie and just nails it past Julian Arnold, right? And then he's super hype about it or whatever. And then the following point, literally, Julian Arnold also hits an Ernie right back at them. And then he yells yeah, short guys could do that too. And then he walks back and I don't know. I thought that was the funniest thing.
No, that's a fantastic. I'm telling you, I don't know how you guys felt, but this is easily some of the most entertaining pickleball I've ever watched in my entire life, both in high-level gameplay because the games were all super tight. Everyone wanted to win. And then the banter was just the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
It was super good.
Even some of the bad ref calls. Remember what happened to John
Oh my God.
Sincola?
Yeah, Shay, tell us about this.
With the 2 foot faults?
The 2 foot faults.
Oh, this was bad, guys. And first of all,
Bad, real
I do
bad.
feel bad for the refs. They've had a long weekend.
Yeah.
Super long.
Oh, man.
rain,
So
everything.
Johnson, Cola, and who was he playing with?
Brendan.
No, it was John and Brandon in second
Brendan.
pong.
Yeah.
Yep.
in
Yeah,
second
so they were playing, and a ball is hit to John. And it's maybe a very heavy slice ball, so it bounces kind of funny. But John short hops it and gets called for a foot fault because he's in the kitchen whenever he makes that contact with the ball. He short hops it.
Yeah.
And they're like, wait a minute, no, that ball bounced. So they convinced the ref that the ball bounced.
Well, even the other team was like,
Yeah,
I don't
no,
even
like, the
think
ball
they
bounced.
were like, it bounced.
Yeah.
So the ball bounces. So they replay the point. And I don't know if it was the next point or maybe a couple later. The same exact thing happens.
And keep in mind, this game is super close. So I believe that because it was against DJ Young and
Stone.
Adam Stone.
Yep.
So the game is really close. Adam Stone and DJ Young are leading the whole time. I can't remember for certain, but they might have been at game point at 14 something when these were happening, or they were really close. And after the first one, they had a pretty big run of points. They had 4 or 5 points in a row. So they're getting pumped. And then I think on the second one, a ball gets blocked and defended, lands really short in the kitchen, but pops up high enough to where you come up and you kind of do that scorpion thing and slap the ball. And so Brandon does that, and the ref goes again, football. And everyone in the room's
no.
what?
It's like an audible groan. It's oh
Yeah,
no.
It was just if you were there, you were like, how could you possibly have thought that was a football? It just didn't even make sense. So, and the momentum was shifting, and oh my gosh, it was, the energy in the room was crazy during all of this. You're like, this cannot happen.
But it did.
But during an
Dude,
important
it was-
game.
Yeah.
Wait,
And
speaking of foot fault, do you want to tell about the story about Lee Whitwell?
Were
guys
you
go
there
ahead.
for that?
I
No,
wasn't there for
yeah.
that. I only saw it on the video.
Was it me and you, Shay, or was it just me and Zach?
I think it was just you and Zach.
Okay, so obviously everyone knows about Lee foot faulting on Ernie's all the time, and sometimes she gets away with it, sometimes she doesn't. Whatever. It's kind of a meme at this point. Well, this was the worst one I've ever seen in the
Ever.
history of foot faults.
you might have to link the clip.
Yeah, I might even have to put the clip up. So basically, Lee serves and she runs up to the net and she poaches a ball, and her feet land and then her momentum carries her into the kitchen, but not taps the line. No, she literally walks through the kitchen, standing just in both feet flat in the middle of it, and she's looking around at everyone.
Yeah, just
and
stroll through
she's
the kitchen.
of course I'm gonna get called a foot fault for this. No foot fault called, and the point's still going. And so she just gets back in the point, and then ball goes on for probably 6, 7, 8 more hits, and eventually I think Lee dinked it into the net, and everyone's like, "Why did you stop playing?" And she was like, none of you saw that? I was literally standing in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And they were like, then why didn't you just say something? And she was like, the ref didn't call it, so I didn't know if I did something wrong. But if you watch this clip, it's the worst.
Lee should have called
man,
it.
dude,
Lee
it-
should have stopped and called it herself.
She honestly, dude, it was so bad. She fell into the kitchen and then
Stuttered.
She stumbled into the kitchen and then walked out head down, thinking that the ref had already called the foot fault.
Yeah.
She didn't know that it wasn't called.
Yeah.
She was
walked back around
surely
to
it's
the
about to get called.
baseline,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
she's like, oh, what? The point's still going?
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally. So it was you combine. So that was the first one we saw, maybe on Thursday or Friday or something. And then the next day was when we saw and heard the double foot fault call. And not only that, I don't think it was the same game. But remember, it was
This is Zane was playing.
Yeah, when Zane was playing. So Zane, they hit some winner or whatever. They get to 14, and the ref just goes out and is like, game point match. And everyone is like, It was this. I think it was the same ref too.
It
Yeah.
was.
So everyone was like, "Oh my gosh, no,
No,
it's
it's
not." And Zane was super funny. I love Zane. He is absolutely hilarious. But he just goes up to the net and he's like trying to shake
over hits.
shake hands with them, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll take the match."
So he's like,
That's
easiest
fine.
game ever.
And I think it was Adam Stone. I think, and he was like, "Sorry, ref. I know you've had a long day, but you're not done yet." and it took her like a little bit to finally realize, like, oh, like what everyone was kind of laughing about, like, oh wait, that wasn't the game. So again, the refs had a long weekend. Like, we're just having some fun chatting about it, but it was kind of wild to see. I've never seen it like this before.
Yeah, I've never seen it like that either.
Normally it's minor stuff.
Yeah, but normally it's minor stuff. I will say there was like a mistake, and there was a wholesome moment with Kyle Yates.
Yeah.
Right? Kyle Yates. He was
Oh,
playing,
yes.
Who was he playing against?
I think that was against. Oh man, I think
Rafa-
it was Rafa.
Rafa.
Yeah.
No,
It was
Rafa.
It was the same game. So Yates playing with Frazier, by the way, Dylan Frazier.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
And basically what happened was it was Frazier or Yates. They were in some sort of hand battle exchange or something, and then they lobbed it, or it was like a bad lob or something, and then the ball was about to go out, I think.
Yeah.
And then Rafa was like, what
Let
did he
it go.
say?
I think Rafa said let it go, but Julian Arnold actually he went through, hit the overhead, put the ball away. But it was when Rafa said let it go,
Yeah.
then Kyle Yates and Dylan Frazier just stopped playing, right?
Okay.
Something like
Yeah.
Is
that?
that what happened? Yeah, because I didn't quite see this. I think I was doing something, and then I kind of caught the aftermath.
Yeah.
But something along those lines, and the ref called a distraction
Right.
Yeah.
penalty against Rafa.
Because Rafa said, let it out, or it's going out.
I think he said let it go, and the ref thought that he said let's go before Julian hit the overhead to put it away.
Oh.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah, because you could like mix those terms up or whatever.
I see.
And so they kind of had like a little dispute. Like,
Right.
Rafa
And-
and them are like, no, that's not what we. Like, that's not what we were trying to say. And so they kind of went back and forth, and basically the ref was like, basically
No.
asked Kyle, like,
Just
did
asked,
it
yeah.
distract you?
Yeah, did it distract you? And then Kyle, was a bigger man and was just like, nah.
No, like that.
I was.
we weren't getting that back.
Yeah, we weren't getting that back. So yeah, a little wholesome moment right there.
Yeah, that was good because I think, it would have been super easy to just be like,
Yep.
yeah, no, that was a distraction. Want that
and,
back.
And they replay it or whatever.
Yep. So that was cool to see.
Yeah, I think
props
everybody
to him
clapped.
for doing that because could have got away with it easily. I'm
I
sure
mean,
everyone in the audience.
With all the other things that people were getting away with, like Will's football during the weekend,
That
easily
would-
could have been.
that wouldn't even have been a bad one.
No,
that would
no,
have been
exactly.
like almost valid, basically.
right. I know we're crapping on the refs kind of hard right now, but no.
Yeah,
shout out
Okay,
to
well,
the
hey,
ref.
we have actually a nice ref moment. So
Oh yes.
True.
yes.
So we were watching the doubles matches today on Championship Sunday, and Bob Swisshelm, he was the head referee there for that match, being broadcast on ESPN Plus. But I thought it was really interesting because he was mic'd up,
Okay.
and the entire audience could hear him and like things he was saying, and he was like explaining the rules as he went along, and he would make very clear calls like no, I did not see that out. And, he was providing a lot of value to the people, and he just did a great job, and we noted it, and yeah, so
Hey,
thanks,
also
Bob.
shout out. I don't know if we ever remembered it, but we basically well, you posted the clip, so we might as well just talk about it.
Yes.
We came up, or Shea came up. It was like Shea and Will. I was just along for the ride, but basically they came up with this trick serve. So here's a little thing a lot of people don't know about the drop serve. You can drop the ball, and you can let it bounce as many times as you want before you hit the ball. You want to let it double bounce? Go for it. You want to let it triple bounce? Fine. Quadruple bounce, and you can still hit it? Go for it. So
World's your oyster,
yeah, the world is your oyster.
as they say.
as they all say. So basically, Shea was like, wouldn't it be funny if I dropped the ball, swung and missed,
On
and
purpose.
then on purpose, and then looked at my partner like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I missed that. And then on the third bounce, you go and scoop the ball and hit it because your opponent, people don't know this rule, so they're probably just confused. And then you hit it and they're not ready for it because they're like, how did this guy seriously just miss a drop serve? and then the ball just goes like right past him. So we filmed this little clip, posted it on Facebook.
And
if
I
you
got
wanna go
aced.
check it out. Yeah, Will did get aced. And then we asked a ref, basically like, is this legal? We were pretty positive it was legal. There was like a couple small nuanced things in there we wanted to make sure about. Like, would it be a problem if Shea like fake swung and then was like, dang it, dude, I can't believe I missed that ball. We were trying to decide if that was a distraction. I think the ref did tell us probably not, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably
it wouldn't.
not.
It's like partner communication.
Yeah,
Partner
partner communication.
Yep.
So he's like, it wouldn't really matter, which I think sells it even better.
Right.
Yes.
So much better. And I can't remember.
Get your acting skills up.
Who did you do? It wasn't in a real game. I think it would have been. We should have just tried it against like Josiah or something, just
Yeah.
for the memes. But didn't you do it to someone and it worked?
Yeah, well,
You did to Carson.
Work. Yeah, I did do it to Carson. Well, actually, so we actually evolved it, okay?
Oh
So
my
now
gosh.
no longer do you drop it. I swing, I miss, I let it bounce 3 times, I'm looking at you, and then when I go to hit the ball, I don't hit like a legal serve into the opposing court. I just like hit it to the person that's up at the net. Like, here you go, here's your ball back.
Here's your ball.
And so when
back.
they catch the ball,
And
then it's a fall because it hit
Yes.
them.
Wait, that's even more. That's
He
like
pulled it off
next
on
Yes,
level
Carson.
mind
that's
game.
next
Yes,
level.
next level.
Next
And
level.
like when Shea pulled that off, I was like,
That's like galaxy brain plays in pickleball.
yo, Shea's on another level.
I want to see you do this
We're
in a
just
tournament.
innovators out here, man.
I know.
You
you're
should
right.
try this when you finally get to pro. You should try this in a pro game because if that worked, it like on your first debut.
Oh.
That's you know how people have their
That
like
people called it the Shea.
yeah people who suck on
I'm like so nervous that I missed the serve, you know. Like, oh my gosh, guys. And then just hit it to him and they catch it.
That would be so
That would be
funny.
amazing.
So shout out to the ref who confirmed all of that for us. He actually answered like a bunch of questions for us, and he was super funny.
Yeah.
Shea was like he had just come up with doing this, so he wasn't very good at actually getting the ball back over because it's such a small gap to hit the ball. And as he's showing the ref is like,
You're
dude,
0
you're
for
like
4.
yeah, you're like 1 for 4 right now. And every time you do, he's like, you're 1 for 6, 2 for 7, and whatever. And he was just like teasing us.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, you could do this, but like you don't seem like you're very good at it.
No, Shea's gonna master it. I even took that clip and I sent it to my buddy James, like back in Tulsa, and it's so funny because James is a little bit older, and he's like, "Dude, I'm going to wreck some seniors with this move." And he's like, he was so pumped. He's like, "I'm totally taking this," and I was like, "Yes."
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So that was pretty ridiculous. But next, what I want to talk about is so today,
Yeah.
Sunday, we basically just played a bunch of rec games. The weather was fantastic.
Amazing.
A
Yep.
lot of good championship Sunday games. We got to play a lot of rec. So the whole weekend, we talked a lot to Kyle McMakin, and he's a super chill guy. Like, we
Yeah.
didn't even go to him.
Yeah, he came to us.
He came to us, started talking like throughout the whole weekend.
Yeah,
Like
Even-
at first he came
we went to
us-
dinner with him too.
yeah, we went to dinner with him. Yeah, and
That was
Susanna
dope.
Barr. Like, Susanna Barr is also awesome. Like, hung out with her a lot. She's a super down to earth person. I think a lot of the pros are actually pretty down to earth, but Kyle was like, he just kind of felt like one of us. It like immediately felt like a good friend or whatever. So he was like, yeah, let's play rec like several times throughout the weekend.
Yeah.
The first time we played,
Barefoot.
the courts were wet.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to put his court shoes on, so he's like, I'll just play barefoot. And I was
Yeah.
like, are you crazy? And he did it. Like, he played like 3 full games bare.
Yeah, and he destroyed us with jeans on.
Yeah, with jeans
Again.
on.
I guess now is probably a good time to mention that Chris did not win against a person playing jeans all weekend.
Hey, I mean, I took one game off the Denim Demon, and just like Will, I was the only person to take a game off of Josiah. So just let the world know that
Okay.
I'm bad, but not that bad.
Bad. Yes. I mean, we even played against Susanna Barr and Kyle, and they both wore jeans when they played against
Yes,
us.
so we did do a basically like a pros versus Joe's thing, kind of like what I did with Zane or what Will's done, a couple times. And so Susanna's in like jean shorts, Kyle's in actual jean. He didn't wear shoes again, right? He was barefoot, wasn't he? He was because in the middle of the match, I was like, oh my gosh, he's barefoot. We won't spoil anything,
Yes.
but let's just say you're gonna want to watch that video
When it comes
that
out.
video comes out. It's it was kind of wild. It
was entertaining.
Yeah, that was really good. But yeah, he's a super cool guy. If you see him at a tournament, please go say hi. I love that people are down to earth like this, and I thought that was pretty good.
I think he just talked to you because you're a celebrity. You're a pickleball.
Now, it's
hero.
probably just because he thought I was Ben Johns, and then once he realized I wasn't, he was like, "Wait, how do I get out of this? Crap, I can't. Like, there's no way to be like I was using you because I thought you were Ben Johns."
Okay, you're right.
That's probably what it was. So pros versus Joes were fun, and then right after that,
You played another pro.
yes, what was his name? Christian
Alshin?
Alshin. Yes. So you tell this story. 'cause-
Okay, so I saw him play. He played pro doubles like the day before when it was all raining or whatnot. I forgot who his partner was, but I just remember him playing like really well. And he had a hat on, and it was a UVA Cavaliers hat. And I'm originally from Virginia, so I was like, oh snap, I thought he was from the big VA. So like I went to go talk to him or whatnot, but he played, I think, tennis over there for like 1 year. And for those of you who don't know, like UVA has like a beast tennis program, D1, like one of the best like in the nation. And but he went to University of Chicago. And cool story is that he actually used to play tennis with Anna Bright. And he was like, yeah, Anna Bright took me to like a state or national championship in mixed doubles one time. And that just shows you like how beast Anna Bright was even in tennis. But I talked to him and he just seemed like a cool dude. And that day he was just dressed super casual, like, in like a tank or whatever. And he came up to us. Like we were like messing around, not even really playing a game.
I didn't even know who you guys were in rec.
Right.
I was on my own just waiting to play. And he comes up and he's like,
hey, can I play with you guys?
Hey, do you mind if I play with you? And I was like, oh yeah, sure, dude. And like, he looks like a younger guy. So I was like, okay, whatever. Like, I don't know who this is, but like maybe he watches the YouTube channel or something. And so like, he's like, let me just go get my paddle real quick and I'll be right back. And so he goes off and Will's like, Chris, do you know who that is? Yeah. And I was like, should I know who that is?
And I was like, that's Christian Alshin, and you're about to get destroyed.
And so we're like warming up, and he was like, yeah, dude, like I've seen your stuff on Instagram or whatever. And I always find this funny.
Yeah.
It's because I think Rafa Hewlett said he's like watched my stuff before. So I was like, why? Like, I mean, like it's cool, but I was like, why does any of the pros need to watch my videos? It's like all paddle reviews and they're all sponsored or whatever. So maybe they're just like, they look and they're like, okay, who should I be scoping out right now or whatever? Like, who's got the best? Maybe, who knows?
See?
But anyways,
you're a tool. You're a tool for them. You should be charging them for your consultations.
I'll send Rafa an invoice after this. It'll be fine. It'll be chill.
Okay.
But so I was like, let's play singles.
Yeah.
And I knew I was gonna get destroyed. And I was like, might as well film it. Whatever. He was like, I hope you know I'm gonna destroy you. Like I'm gonna try my hardest to beat you. And I was like, please. Like I don't like when pros, I mean it can be funny. Like Zane, it was funny or whatever. But like I want to experience like a pro level. Like how far away am I?
Yes.
And he just smoked me.
Yeah. What
like,
was the final score?
2-11. 2-11. But there were a lot of side outs in there. So that felt good. But there were several points where just like one of them literally put me on the ground. Yeah. I don't think I even won that one. I don't remember. There were some really, you guys said there were some really good points in there.
And I think that was the best. I don't know, you versus the Denim Demon or that game, like that was some of the best singles play like I think I've seen. I was like, oh my gosh, you're the best 3-5 player. I mean, you're the best 5-0 player that's actually 3-5. That's what I was like, oh my god.
I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, I got smoked, and there's zero chance I would beat him. But playing him, there's a certain level of focus I sometimes have when I'm playing like far enough. Like I know there's no way I can beat these people, but I get so focused and I'm so not worried about messing up that it like helps me play better. Like it felt like I played the best singles I could play against someone that
No, you were playing the best singles I think I've ever seen you play. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm glad you didn't play like that when I came up to Minneapolis and challenged you to a 1v1 because I would have gotten destroyed. But no, you were not only that, but you were making him hit some like ridiculous shots.
Oh, he was running all over.
Yeah, he was running all over.
And he'd get them and hit a great shot.
Yeah, and he was like, hitting like tweener volleys and whatever against you, and you were getting them back. And I was like, who is this guy?
Not Chris, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was so shout out to him because it was super chill hanging out with him, and he was like a super down to earth guy. He's been playing pickleball for
1 month.
No, 3 months.
Oh, okay.
3 months. He obviously played high level tennis, but this was his first pro tournament. He played quite well for it literally being his first pro pickleball tournament.
I
he skipped the local tournament. What?
I think, didn't he? I don't know what he got. I was wondering if he got in fourth or something.
I don't think it was fourth. I think like maybe they made it to the quarters or something. I can't remember. But, it wasn't like an amazing performance. But when it's your first pro tournament, you've been playing pickleball for 3 months, that's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
We'll take it.
Yes.
So, I mean, are there any other like major things I got some stuff I want to go into outside of the tournament.
Yep.
But is there anything else from the tournament you guys feel is noteworthy?
I will say that, so his name is Christian, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was telling us a story about, he lives in Florida.
Yeah.
And so he gets to play a lot of really good players down in Florida.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And so he was
this
telling
story's
us
great.
that he was getting to play with Lee, maybe not Lee, but at least Annalie Waters.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we got to play doubles against her. And
Well, but okay, so let's set that up even just before.
Yeah.
I guess I forgot. This was his first pro tournament, but he did play some little tournament in Florida. And so he gets to the final, and he's playing Anna Lee and some other person that she, just kind of happened to be playing with for fun or whatever. And he was like, she's just a 14-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to smoke her.
Yeah.
So you go ahead and like,
I
guess that was just the story. I totally just stole his story. I'm a jerk.
You story stealer.
I totally thought there was more to that. And then I just took the whole punchline.
It just shows you how Chris loves to
This is
talk.
the Pickleball Studio podcast, guys.
Yeah, but Shea owns this now.
Yeah, you thought he was going to smoke her, and then he got smoked.
Yeah, he got smoked.
And he was like,
It was like 211.
yeah, he's like, I lost like 211. He's like, what the heck? But I think the next thing he told us, didn't he say he played?
Yeah, he took her in singles and actually got a game on her.
Oh,
Yeah. Maybe even just beat her outright. I don't know exactly.
Yeah, it was like
but
11-5 or something. I don't know. He said like they train together sometimes. So
yeah, now they train together and stuff, and no, he's gonna be good.
he'll be someone to watch
For
I
sure,
think,
for sure.
as stuff goes on here.
You got the skills for it.
But I guess real quick before we dive into some of this other stuff, we want to give some shout outs. Obviously, Denim Demon, we've talked about him a bit. I will be
sure.
back for him. I told him I will see him in 4-5 singles one day.
Yeah, I will say also, like, he hung out with us for like the rest of the tournament too. Like, he's a super cool dude.
He's a super cool guy.
Yeah, very friendly. Like, all love.
I was
all
thinking
love.
pickleball is like one of the only sports where you get beat by someone or you beat them, and you still like are friends the rest of the time.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely.
Like, it was super chill. So shout outs to him. Obviously, shout out to Kyle McMakin for hanging out, doing the pros versus Joes with us.
Yeah.
Susanna, that was great. Zach Fancher, because he let me crash with him. That's basically the reason I came to this,
Yep.
is because I was going to have free housing. So thanks to him and his wife for putting up with me. And I know there's a bunch of other cool people that we met this weekend that would met so many people. Thanks to everyone who like came up and talked to literally me, Shea, or Will.
Yeah.
We always really appreciate hearing that you guys like the stuff. It's super fun interacting. If you ever see any of us at a tournament, just come say hi. We don't
Yes.
bite, and it's honestly fun
For
to
sure.
meet you guys.
For
so
sure. I have just last few real quick shout outs.
Yeah.
First to, I guess, Hugh from
Yes,
Revelin.
Hugh from Revlin.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. See, I
Super
knew I was
cool
going to
guy.
forget
Super
an
cool
obvious one.
guys.
Yeah.
That was a pretty dope.
And
like,
I think his wife, maybe Sophie.
Sophie.
I think
Yeah.
his girlfriend, I'm actually not sure.
Yeah, I don't
Wife
know.
or girlfriend, but
His significant other.
yeah,
We'll
significant
put it at
other.
that.
Yeah, there you go.
The Canadians.
Yep,
Robbie,
Canadians were fun.
Mo, they all came through from Ottawa down to Atlanta just to compete, and they were beasts. They came to play. They
Yeah.
came to compete.
Yep.
I think didn't Robbie like medal? No, I think he won. I think he medaled in singles. I think like maybe he got
No,
silver.
he won mixed.
He won mixed. Okay,
Yeah, 4-0.
Well, that was amazing. And also shout out to Julie Johnston.
Yes, shout out to Julie Johnson. She did recognize when I like came up to her and said like, your clap is really good. She like
Yes.
knew immediately what I was talking about.
Exactly. No, I told you. Remember when she was cheering on Georgia in like the finals or whatever?
Yeah.
You can hear her clap. It's very distinct amongst everybody else's clap. And then when I saw her playing in her match, I think it was her gold medal match. I think she won. So shout out to Julie for winning. But she was like taking a drink of water or something, maybe on a timeout, and I was waiting in line for like some food, and I was like, "Let's go, Julie." And then she looked over at me, and she immediately was almost, it looked like she was about to like spit water out of her because she was laughing because she put it down, and then she put her water down, and then she just gave me a clap, she's like, and I just thought it was the coolest thing.
This is one thing I really love about pickleball.
Yeah.
There's essentially no other sport where the amateurs or anyone interacts with the pros at this level, or where they even care anything about you at all.
Yeah.
Right. So I just think it's super cool that you can get really close to a lot of them. You have easy access. I don't think it's going to be like that forever, but right now we are in a
golden age.
definitely a golden age of pickleball, and I'm definitely glad to be here for it.
Right.
So yeah, that was kind of our tournament. I had a blast. Like, I thought it was super fun. Obviously, hanging out with you guys the whole weekend has been fantastic. I want to go to more of these tournaments. I think we just got to get Airbnbs and just all go to the same tournaments, because it would be a blast to get a
Heck
lot
yeah.
of fun content.
Try to make trick shots with Shea.
Yeah. Oh my. Okay. Yeah. We got to talk about, how did we forget about this? So one of the days when we were kind of chilling because of the rain, Shea was like, let's make a trick shot. And so
Like,
he sets
Shea,
up
how
this
do you do this? And then he's just like, oh, I just look for stuff around the house and
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
come
So
in.
like I was like trying to like tape a paddle to a trash can and
that
like
flips. Like you hit the lever and the trash can lid like flips over or whatever, and he's trying to like make that
And why
work.
didn't we do that, Shea? You want to tell the audience?
Oh yeah, so I believe I put a couple pieces of duct tape on a Selkirk paddle, strapped to the trash
A Power
can.
Air, let's be specific, a
on Power Air.
$250 paddle.
And then Chris, you wanted to have a go at it. So my man comes over there, smashes on the trash can, and it just all falls
launched the
apart.
paddle.
It just,
Tape came off and the paddle just went pew.
Things deteriorated very fast.
Yep.
Yeah, so we didn't do that.
So Shea ended up setting up another trick shot, basically like bounced off a chair, bounced off the back of the chair, then had to go through the gap and then into a cup. And me, Zach, Will, Shea did this for like 2.5 hours and no one got it. We had a ton of close attempts. And then what happened when you got back later that evening?
So maybe like, I don't know, 6 hours later, we come back and I set it up again. We're watching some tennis, right? The U.S. Open. And first bucket, maybe like ball 30, goes right in.
Yeah. And literally Shea, he has a clip of it. He just stands there and stares. Will's like freaking out.
I'm freaking
He's
out.
like, check that. You go, like, what? And Shea's just like looking at it like, I don't know. Did it even go in?
This is
I
just
was
another
like, man,
Tuesday for me. You know, I do these all the time. You know, no biggie. You know.
We were saying that Shea was probably just numb from so many attempts.
Yeah, honestly, that's what it was. Like at that point, I just realized that this one was not worth the amount of effort we put into it. Like I just wanted to be done, get it over with, and then like move on to the next one, dude.
Yeah,
Not
I
worth
don't
it.
know how you do it. I now have a small glimpse into the average day of Shea, and I don't envy the trick. I will say it was fun doing it with all of you.
Yes.
And I think it would probably be fun on my own up to about 30 minutes. And then after that, it wouldn't start to feel worth it anymore.
I mean, we did live stream it, and then Porter even like watched it. He was pissed or something, or he was like, "No, this is easy." And then he
tried to
his
do it
own.
himself, and then he did a way easier trick shot.
I mean, he did
Get it though.
He did a trick shot. I think he got 2 trick shots done in about like an hour and a half or something.
Something like that, which,
Solid.
hey, sometimes they take way longer than that. We had 4 of us, and it was over 2.5 hours or something stupid.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was fun to experience. I'm glad I got to try it, but I will not ever become a trick shotter, probably. Maybe when I'm around Shea, I will, but that's about it. But so basically, that's the whole tournament. So now, since we've got you here, I'd like to walk through. Obviously, you've talked on other podcasts about, like, I think most people know you as like wanting to go pro. I kind of want to know.
He's going to go pro.
Well, no, he totally will, especially after seeing it this weekend. But like, what's like an average day look for you right now? Because obviously this has changed, over the course of time. And actually, do you want to announce, or have you announced like your whole thing about like pickleball and?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we can. So I haven't really told it on my own channel, but this is a good place to do it. So I quit my engineering job very recently.
Cue clap sound effects.
Hey,
Applause.
let's go.
Julie Johnson clap.
No more financial security. Let's go.
To smack plastic wiffle balls.
Yeah, so I quit the engineering job to pursue pickleball full time, do pickleball content with these guys.
Hey.
And yeah, man, it's just been a crazy journey, and I'm really taking it slow. I feel like that I could get super serious with it and train like 9 hours a day, but I'm really enjoying the journey, and like, having partnerships like you and I go out there together and play. I think that's so much fun.
Yeah.
So, currently on the road to pro, and it's going to be a long and windy road, but it's really cool to be on.
So with the job right now, I guess leading up, how long were you thinking about quitting? And like now that you've quit, like, does it feel scary at all? Like, oh man, what if like the pickleball stuff doesn't work out? Or is it basically just like, I just know this is going to work out?
Yeah, well, I'm very confident that's going to work out. And we've had some conversations about this too. Like, it's much easier to be 100% committed to something than 99% committed to something.
Yeah.
Like,
That 1% makes a big difference.
It does, right? So taking that step to quit the job and like pursue this full time, things like automatically got so much easier because I know exactly what I have to do every day.
Right. You put yourself in a position where like essentially failure is not an option, or like you have to figure out a way to succeed.
We have to figure it out if you want to live.
Right.
Essentially.
Pretty much. Exactly. Right.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I will say, Shea, I guess staying here with you at this Airbnb, seeing like your routines and just the way you think about yourself and life and how you go about is pretty inspiring. It's also like just pretty interesting to see. Like you wake up, like this man wakes up like 5 a.m., 6 a.m., like every morning on the dot, like goes through some personal affirmations on these index cards that he writes from the books that he's read that he brain dumps from the day before, and he just carries them around.
I don't even know about this stuff.
He does yoga like in the morning, right? Then he cooks, then like he'll watch some YouTube videos or something like about Rocket League or something that he likes or whatever. And then he gets his day started fresh with like content ideas where he's just spitballing ideas. He's asking me, hey, Will, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? Oh, that's good. I'm gonna write it down. He writes like ferociously in his notebook and whatnot. Like pretty much like if you ever read a self-help book or whatever, the like ideal person that they're talking about is essentially what Shea has become or what he is right now. Pretty much. That's pretty much what it is.
So Shea is the self-help book.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't know about all that, but I think so Will, you're coming to stay with me for a couple more days here before the PPA Peachtree City. So I think we might make like a day in the life video or like training like
totally have
for sure.
Yeah, so that'll be pretty fun.
Yes.
Yeah, dude. But this guy's got some crazy ideas too. I know you guys are all following the Pickleball Studio, but if you're not following this guy, you have to.
What are you doing? Hang on. If you follow this podcast and you're not following Will yet, something's wrong.
Yes, let it be known that this podcast was originally my idea.
Yes. Let's make this very clear. This was entirely Will's idea, and basically I was like, okay, Will, if we're gonna do this, I don't want to have 2 podcasts or manage 2 podcasts. So like, I would like to eventually have a Pickleball Studio podcast.
Yeah.
So how about we just make it the Pickleball Studio podcast?
And I went with it.
And he went with it.
I was like,
but it was technically all his idea.
Yeah.
And
I was like, put it on. I was about it. He was like, do you want to put it on your channel? I appreciate you, Chris, for like having concern for me, because I know when you like start projects or whatever, like if it goes under your name or your channel or your platform, people get iffy about that. But I was like, nah, man, I don't care. I'm here to spread the joy of pickleball, and if it can reach more people. And at that time, I was like, you had the bigger platform, the channel, and people know you. And I was like, nah, man, let's just put it on yours. And within all the rest of the stuff, we'll figure out later.
Yeah, let's just make it clear that this podcast would not be a success if Will was not on it. You guys don't want to hear just me talk the entire time.
I think you could probably do it though.
What's up, guys?
I think. Oh my god!
Welcome to the Pickleball Studio podcast.
I could do it, but it's definitely way more fun to have someone to just like tell jokes to, or like little insight, that like his whole 3.5 at best thing, just stuff like that.
So
like,
good.
Yeah, that stuff makes it really great. But so tell me, like, okay, like let's say when Will leaves and it's your next Monday, like your, I guess, official work day. Walk me through Monday. What would you do?
Oh, so Mondays.
Yeah.
So Mondays are interesting.
Oh, see, look, he even knows Mondays are interesting.
It's really not like that. I promise it's really not like that. But I do have like a pretty like strict morning routine, just because I think when I wake up in the morning, I want to have like all my decisions already made. That way I just already get off on the right foot. But we wake up, typically there's like, I do have the index cards. Those are actually a real thing. Mm-hmm. So like, typically when you read a book, you kind of forget about it the next day or like the next week
that's
or month.
That's a real problem for me.
So instead what I do is I put them into like Notion on my phone.
Yep.
And then
I love Notion.
Yeah, Notion's great. Really good. So every morning I wake up.
Not sponsored.
No, not sponsored. But if you're watching Notion, just kidding. Chill. No. All right. Anyways, so we actually take that. There's like a brain dump in Notion, and I take that and the ones that I like, I put it on index cards and I put them into a stack. Every morning I wake up and I just read through those index cards to kind of remind me of the things that I want to be better at.
I like that.
Right?
It's actually really cool.
It's super cool. So we do that, and then I have like some yoga things I do, and I think yoga is really interesting because, especially as an athlete, we're all probably sore right now.
Oh, yeah,
and
we're real sore.
Yeah, so taking the time to like stretch out and kind of give your body a chance to relax and like loosen up is really important, just for the longevity of like our athletic careers and our performance, and probably this podcast as well. So
yes. And I actually really want to start doing more of that. So I'll usually stretch. I've been bad about it on this trip because it's just a lot of like, you stop playing and then you think you're done, and then like someone wants to play a game, so you don't warm up great or whatever. But I think it's a really important thing. Obviously, you can prevent a ton of injuries on the court. People get hurt all the time. Like I was actually just reading a Facebook post earlier, and a guy was like, "Yeah, I pulled a calf muscle, and then like I let it heal, and first day back on the court, pulled it again, let it heal, and then literally within an hour, the next time he went out, did it again." Wow. And I was like, okay. Like, this is someone who clearly needs a warm-up routine and stretch.
Yep.
And usually I'll do some warm-up. But so let's say you're going to go train or you're going to go drill or play or whatever, how long is like your warm-up routine to get the body warm?
Yeah, so typically about like 10 minutes, right? And
okay,
it's just active dynamic stretching. and it's very
like light jogging or something.
Kind of, yeah. It's like high knees, and then we do high knees backwards,
Yep.
and then like butt kickers and butt kickers backwards and lunges.
Yep.
And it's things that I brought over from my background as a kicker.
Yep.
So I was a kicker in college and for the football team, and yeah, they had a really like kind of strict warm up as a team, and I took the things I liked and the things I thought applied to pickleball, and
Yeah.
I just do this before I get on the court now.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Can't wait to do these with you.
So
Shea.
you wake up, you've
fun.
got
Yeah.
like the yoga and whatnot, and then are you drilling? Are you working on content ideas? Like, is that stuff set in routine, or do you kind of play that by ear?
Yeah, so typically the day starts. It's pretty structured. I like waking up around 5,
Okay.
and then the day is structured until like 7 o'clock, or
Okay.
then I go to drill.
7 p.m. or 7 a.m.?
7 a.m.
Okay.
7 a.m.
okay.
7 a.m.
I was like, holy moly, this guy's got
Yeah, and then
like,
and then we go to drill, and then it kind of gets crazy from there. But from 5 to 7, it's it's kind of like self-help stuff, like Will was saying. I mean, we're stretching, we're reading index cards, we're like and making sure like hygiene's good, and
Yep.
like I'm eating a good breakfast, doing some. I love watching YouTube videos. I love just taking in knowledge, and something I learned on this trip. Apparently, Chris watches every YouTube video
Oh my gosh.
in 2.5 times speed.
Okay.
The guy's insane.
Yes.
this is
sometimes
a fun
3.
fact about me. Sometimes 3 if the person talks really slow, but that doesn't happen as often. And honestly, it just started because I got so tired. Like I use YouTube for so much information. Like it could be literally anything. I could be learning like investing related things, or I need a tutorial on how to do something. Yeah, how to sew probably. Like just add it to my random wealth of knowledge or whatever. But people talk so slow, and sometimes 5 minutes of the 15 minutes video is all you need. So I just learned to watch everything at 2.5 times speed. And it's so normal to me now that when I do it around someone who doesn't know that I do this, they're like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, what are you listening to?
You're an alien.
I really don't think it's that hard. I think if you start at like 1.5, you just slowly work up. Like, I'm surprised Shea doesn't do it yet. I figure Shea's time would be so valuable that it's like, I have to 4X this so that I can get to my morning routine.
Too much.
I mean, I can do 1.5 and like get away with most of it, but as soon as you hit the 2 something, like it's just another language. It's like everything sounds like Alvin and
Dude,
the
the
Chipmunks.
voice goes up a pitch, and I'm like, I'm out of here. I can't.
My
I can't
ultimate
take in
goal,
anything.
and I don't know that it will actually ever happen, but I think it would make this fun fact even crazier, is I want to obviously slowly work up, but if I could hit 4X and consistently understand it, I think that would be like, I would brag about that.
You would break some world record, probably.
I don't know. There's probably someone out there who can do something ridiculous, but yeah, I don't know. I think that would be
I
pretty
just think
cool.
it's funny. Like we're all content creators, so we think a lot about retention and keeping people's attention on the screen to like watch our content. So,
Yeah.
so typically, for those of you that don't know, like you want to put a lot of cuts at the beginning of your videos, so people have a lot of things to look at. When Chris watches one of those videos in 4X speed, there's like 100 cuts in like literally 5 seconds.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like, zoom. But the funny thing is, people are always like, "There's no way you understand anything they just said," and I'm like, I fully comprehended everything that just came through. I don't know. There's just a lot of filler words and filler things, and it's like it just gets filtered out. I don't know.
Do they know about your past life as a speed cuber and holding world records?
I mean, I think like people have probably heard it a couple times now, at least briefly. But yeah, I used to do speed, just solve Rubik's cubes really fast. I held a couple world records, and that's definitely where that type of thing came from. I just like to do things fast because that's for 12 years of my life, everything was about like do this thing as fast as possible. So like even dumb things, like I have a different way that I tie my shoelaces because it's at least twice, maybe 4 times as fast as tying your
This
shoes.
guy.
Like literally, it takes you no time at all. I should actually show you guys later. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, I
but
wanna see.
so silly stuff like that where it's like it just needs to be faster. So
I just want to
cool.
know, like, eventually in the future, you have a long life and then you die. I just want to know, there should be a stat or like somebody did some data. Like, here lies Christopher Olsen. He saved 10 years of his life because he tied his shoe a certain way and saved milliseconds, and it added up to this much amount of time.
that would actually be amazing. I would like, or like,
It's on your
here's how many
tombstone.
videos he watched. Here's how many more he got through because he watched them at 2.5 times speed.
Yes.
Like when I edit this podcast, whole thing is 2x. I literally edit the podcast twice as fast because of it.
Yeah.
So like it's just beneficial.
I think that's reasonable, right?
Yes.
When the editing 2x speed makes sense, but just watching a casual YouTube video, there's no need, man.
Oh no, you got to do it.
Okay.
You got to do it. But Okay, so like 5 to 7 a.m. for you is pretty structured. When you go out and drill, especially for me because I'm trying to start drilling more or whatever. Do you go out with let's say a week plan of like, here's the things I want to work on this week? Do you have set things you always like to do? Do you kind of play it by like, I'm working on this skill? Like how do you determine?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So I'm actually releasing a video very soon. It's already filmed and edited. I'm just waiting for the right time.
Sure.
So it's basically like how to structure a drilling practice.
I like it.
And I take it from my football days. We actually have like periods or sections. So they're like 10-minute periods or blocks of time.
Mm-hmm.
And in that 10-minute block of time, you're doing a specific like drill or strategy, or like we call it install. So you're like installing new plays for the week that you're playing the opponent. In pickleball, it's more like you're just like working on your backhand dinks to like the right foot, or you're working on like maybe like lobbing somebody over their left shoulder down the line, stuff like that.
Sure.
So it's very
Do you structure it the same way? Like you only do it for like 10 minutes and then move on?
yeah, typically 10 to 30 minutes somewhere in there. And it depends on who I'm drilling with, or if I'm drilling like by myself.
Sure.
So I'm very like, I like listen to what they want to do, obviously.
Yeah. Like it's not obviously all just about you.
Yeah, but I do try to make sure that I'm still drilling 4-to-1 ratio. So 4 hours of drilling, 1 hour of playing, or otherwise we'll just end up in like way too many like casual rec
Do you find
games.
that hard to do? Because for me, I'm at the courts all the time. Obviously, I've made tons of friends. I love seeing people and like, they'll see me making a video or whatever. And it's often really hard for me to just go and drill. Well, first of all, courts do fill up, so that is a problem. But even like, let's say 3 people show up at the courts that I know, and then me and my brother are drilling, and they're like, there's literally no one else here. And like, if you guys just stop drilling, you could like make our life like no one demands it, but you feel like a little bad. Like, okay, if I just played this game, it would have. Do you just not care? Like, how do you, I guess, avoid that? Because I'm sure you like playing games.
Yeah, absolutely. And I make friends on the courts too, obviously. But the key to it is going into it with a plan. So typically, like before a drilling day, I'll know that I'm going to go meet up with this person at this location to drill for this amount of time.
Yep.
And if I have all that ready to go, then I'm not going to get sucked into those games.
I see.
Right.
So like if someone came and said like, can we play or whatever? You just be like, I just got to finish this drilling, essentially.
Yeah.
Like
pretty
obviously
much.
Politely, but
Yeah, I mean, if there's enough courts, then yeah.
Yeah. You wouldn't just hold a court or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, at this point, like, so I did move from Atlanta back up to my hometown, which is like 2 hours north, and the players up there, they're not like, there's not like a ton of 5-0s or even 4-5s up there.
Sure.
And so, dude, honestly, like a lot of people that are like 4-0 or below, they kind of find it tough to play against people that are 5-0 because it just becomes a very like one-sided game.
Yeah, it's super one-sided. Like, it's not fun for either party.
Right.
One party gets beat up, and the other party. It's not that you don't get any practice or whatever, but it's not, I guess, as good of practice as you could potentially get. Yeah. And when you set up the games that you do play, are you super intentional about like, here's the group I'm going to play with, and everyone knows like it's a super serious game, or do you actually treat it like true rec play? Like we're literally just here to play some pickleball.
Well, it's usually pretty serious, and if I am setting up something, that's probably going to be on like a private court somewhere.
Yeah.
So we're not like just on like 14 dedicated courts somewhere, and there's open play. Yeah. So it stays pretty serious, and I think that I've attracted enough people around me that have similar mindsets.
Yep.
Like that also want to get better and drill,
Yeah.
and they don't want to get sucked into those casual games.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of what I try to maintain is staying with people that are like that and want to get better.
What do you think is the maybe best thing you did that made the biggest difference in the shortest amount of time?
The best thing, what do you mean by that?
Like you improved the most from this one thing, and it was like the least amount of effort.
It was, I'm going to take a guess.
Okay.
And it was, I guess, some of those, eye practice like techniques you did on some of those videos. I saw you pull it out. Like, what was that string you pull out?
Yeah, it's called a Brock string.
A what string?
Brock, B-R-O-C-K, Brock.
Brock.
Yeah, and to describe it to the people who, well, even if you're watching the video, you can't see this.
Yeah.
But basically, it's a string, just a really long string, and there's just beads, like circular beads, at different points on the thing.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So I will
Before
say,
you get
yeah.
started, some of you guys out there, you got to get your mind out of the gutter.
Yeah.
You know?
That is-
Okay.
They probably weren't in the gutter till you said it, but
I'm sorry.
so first of all, would you agree? Is that the thing?
Yes,
that
I will
helped
say
the most?
that's not the right answer. So keep listening and watching, right? Until you get the answer. But no, so that string's really cool though, because what it does is it trains your eyes to both diverge and converge, based off of like different spaces,
And
different
yeah,
distances.
yeah, right, exactly. So for example, like if somebody's serving, the ball's like way over there, right, 20 something feet away.
Right.
So I can focus on the ball, and then by the time it gets to me, right, or crosses the net, I have to make my eyes converge to see that ball as it gets closer and closer and closer and closer until it finally hits my paddle.
I see.
Yep.
Right. So it's really beneficial to train that, so you have that flexibility in your eyes and like the strength in the muscles surrounding your eyes. You can focus on the ball throughout the entire path.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. Yeah, that's pretty. I assume those are cheap. They got to be like $10 or something, right? It's
mean,
literally
dude,
a
like-
string with beads.
Yeah, it's
you could
like
probably make it.
It's like
Yeah.
a kindergarten project, like
And
art
if
project.
you don't have it, you can use you can kind of use like something in the distance, and you can use like your two fingers. I've seen people
Yeah,
do
yeah.
it. Some tennis players do it. I've noticed.
I see.
Yeah.
I definitely want to do that because I feel like that probably would be a thing that would, after seeing you do it and hearing it, I was like, oh, that's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, I think the people at home should try it right now. Like if you're just sitting there listening, as long as you're not driving, probably not a great idea.
Don't do it while driving.
But just like put a finger up like right in front of your nose, put another finger up like as far as you can hold it out in front of you, and then focus on something else further in the distance. And then just try to like make your eyes focus between those three objects as fast as possible. And like you'll really feel it like kind of straining your eyes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
pretty neat.
So what would you say was the biggest thing?
Yeah, so the biggest thing that's helped my pickleball game was just realizing that it's okay to hit a high third shot drop.
You know, it's funny you say this because I think I perhaps intuitively knew this, but once it was reinforced, I probably learned this like maybe 2 weeks ago is when I heard this.
Yeah.
And it was probably just some YouTube video or maybe even a pro said it. But I'll let you explain it and then I'll kind of chime in.
Yeah.
and
So I
throw
mean,
some
we could
thoughts.
break it down a couple different ways if you want to get kind of like analytical with it. If I hit a ball, I hit a third shot drop, and it goes into the net, there is a 0% chance that I win that point.
Yep.
Right. But if I hit a high third shot drop,
Right.
there is a much better chance that ball comes back, and I at least have a chance to like dig it
Defend
out.
it.
Right.
It might be hard,
Yeah.
but you can still hit it.
Right. So like the follow up to that is it's okay to hit a high third shot drop if you're really good at resetting from that transition zone.
Yes.
see.
So now when I go out to drill, no matter what I'm working on, I always make sure I'm practicing and drilling resets from transition.
Yep. So
see.
so what I like to do for this is I will stand mid court and then my training partner at the net. And usually I'll start with the ball and I'll just pop it up like either for like an overhead or just like kind of a shoulder high, like put away ball.
Yep.
And then just have them blast the ball at me and just keep trying to reset it.
Yeah.
Is that essentially what you do?
Pretty close, except instead of having your partner stand like where they would behind the non-volley zone, you have them come all the way up to the net.
Oh, sure. So
Yeah,
they can
so-
literally hit everything.
So they're
You can
like
smash anything.
maybe like a couple feet behind the net.
Okay.
So now your drop zone gets so much smaller.
I
I
see.
see.
Yeah.
So now, with that one, obviously you get a lot of benefit out of it. But I feel like one thing that's beneficial the other way is your partner, like, if you drop it well, they have to, like, work on a roll. So do you feel it's, like, more one-sided that way, or do you feel like the other person still gets, like, some pretty good practice?
They definitely get good practice because as they get closer to the net, my drops get better and better and better. So they're still rolling it from that area.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah, I
So you're
think-
thinking just, like, middle of the non-volley zone or something?
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. And then obviously we switch it around and we both get practice there.
Yep, that
that
makes
position.
sense.
Yeah.
What is your? I'm just curious. What is your technique and like your mentality when you're doing resets? Like,
Yeah, so actually I modeled this after Lee Whitwell. So Kyle Kazuda, that pickleball guy on Instagram and everywhere else.
shouts to Kyle.
Yeah. He did a good interview, I think it was, or maybe just a small video with Lee, and he asked her like what she thinks about doing her resets because she's one of the best in the game, right? And so there's a couple things she does. Number one, she's very stationary, very still, doesn't like jump into it or like fall back on her heels.
Flinch.
And the second thing is she always breathes, right? So as she's hitting that ball, she exhales. So it's like reset, reset, right?
Yep.
So keeping a breath that's like very consistent, I think that really helps with like the tempo of your resets and making sure they get over the net.
Well, and I would say a big thing, even just as I've watched pros recently, they're so calm and so still. Like a ball's like getting blasted at them. Colin Johns is probably one of the best examples you could watch for this. Dude doesn't move. He just kind of tilts his paddle a little bit, and it just somehow square hits the sweet spot, and then just lands right back in the kitchen.
Oh, basically, so just don't do what Chris does, which is just jump as high as you can when the ball gets smashed at you.
All the time I just turn or jump.
Make your body as big as possible.
Basically.
Biggest target as possible.
The hugest target. No, I'm just trying to trick shot on the court, jump over the ball, like skip around or whatever.
You're just asking get body bagged.
Well, thankfully I don't get hit too often, but we're working on it. We're working on it. But I do agree with that whole third shot mentality because it's just it's hard to hit a perfect third shot drop. Sometimes people get really good, they can attack things lower or whatever, and I think it also enforces. People are taught like get to the kitchen as fast as you can, and obviously if you can get there in one shot, amazing. You just made your life a whole lot easier. But a lot of times that doesn't happen. If you watch the pros. That doesn't happen a lot. Sometimes they hit a third shot drop that's like head high.
Yeah.
And they get a ball blasted back on, but they slowly work their way in.
Yeah. I mean, thinking back to our doubles matches, like it would have been way more demoralizing, or it would have been, way less demoralizing to the other team that we beat.
Yeah.
Had they gotten the ball over every single time.
Yes.
But when they hit their third shot drops into the net, you feel like you can't do anything.
Yeah.
That's true.
You just like fall apart.
Yeah. So at least like get it over the net, and then give yourself a chance to dig it out on the overhead or whatever they hit back at you, rather than just hitting it into the net.
Also, there's like nothing more satisfying to me than you start a point that way and they're just like smashing overheads, and you just keep like, even if you're hitting them back and they get to smash another one, and then either they mess up or you get in and win the point, like it feels extremely satisfying.
Yes. So true. So true.
So I do love that. So that's cool that's kind of one of the biggest things. I would agree with that. I think that's a good thing to always, no matter what level you are, always be working on.
Yep.
So that's fun. So at this point, how far away do you feel you are from pro? Like, do you have a date you want to start doing it? Like, what's your whole
now
thought
you're putting him on
process?
the spot right
Oh,
now.
well, you
that's
gotta
cool.
know. It's
That's
Shea
cool.
Underwood Road to Pro.
Well, I mean,
I've thought about it before. Go ahead.
yeah, no. Do you have it on like your calendar somewhere?
No,
Keep you accountable, right? Like, okay, this day, this tournament, I'm playing pro.
No, I really don't, man. It's not that serious for me right now. So like I told you guys earlier, I'm really just enjoying the journey.
Okay.
I don't want to get so caught up in this journey of becoming a pro that I get burnt out on it.
Yep.
Right?
Agreed.
Smart man.
So it's fun, like just hanging out with and working way up through the amateurs and doing this kind of thing, rather than focusing 9 hours a day on it every single day.
You get burned out.
Yeah.
Do you give yourself? I mean, I'm sure there are days where you just don't feel like drilling or practicing or literally anything. How strict are you? Are you like, no, I'm gonna do this because this is how you get to this level? Or are you like, it's fine. Like, I want to enjoy this. I don't want to hate this.
Yeah, it's my mentality for that is as long as I'm doing something, at least one thing every single day to get better as a pickleball player, then that's a successful day.
Sure.
Right. And that can mean anything. It can mean like doing the vision training when it's raining outside, or it can mean hitting a ball against the wall for like, maybe 1,000 times. Or it could be, hitting 1,600 shots at a bottle cap and trying to make it spin off the bottle
Your
because I'm
best
making a trick shot video.
That's for sure your best trick shot.
I mean, for me, it was like your most impressive one.
Until Will and I, we do one this coming week.
Yes.
We've got some crazy stuff lined up.
I don't know if I'm looking forward to it or not. Just after the first session we did, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he goes through this.
Seriously, I don't think you guys understand. When you watch one of these videos, obviously he says the attempt number. It takes 1,600 attempts. We definitely didn't go over 1,000 attempts. Yeah. And it was ridiculous. So now imagine you're by yourself. You do 1,600 attempts.
I don't know, but I do imagine that the dopamine hit you get after you make a successful one is just phenomenal.
Dude, it's cool. It's cool. And then also, like, I also understand that's my job, and that's kind of like how I get paid now. So if it takes me a while, I know it's just a better story.
Okay.
And so it'll likely get seen by more people, which gives me more money.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of cool.
Wow. Win-win.
So
for Shea.
which do you feel like you enjoy more? Training to be a pro or being a content creator?
Good question.
Yeah, I think for pure enjoyment, content creation,
Yep.
it's so much fun.
Yep.
Right, but really, like, the whole essence of my channel is taking that training to be a pro and turning that into content.
Yeah, combining.
So it's like the best of both worlds,
Yeah.
right?
So wait, I have a question then.
Yeah.
What happens when you reach pro. It's not road to pro anymore because you made it.
Yeah, I just deleted my YouTube channel. Just over. There's nothing left.
What would you call it? No, you should definitely still talk about like your training and stuff, what it's like to be.
No, then
I'm
he'll
gonna
just
work-
talk about all the like bad things pros said to him at a tournament. They'd be like, "You see this line call they made? Like, I want to."
I've got it, guys. We're gonna work our way back down to 3.5.
Back down to 3.5.
Yeah.
Oh no, I have an idea for you. Road to pro 2, but this time you try to go pro again, but you start with your left hand.
Left hand.
Yeah.
Ooh, that is smart, actually.
That would be sick. And then when he reaches pro again, he's got both.
we just cut them off and use our feet.
We just come off and use our feet. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Well, everything you're doing is great. Obviously, a lot of people watch your stuff, and like, you know, we all love what you're doing. Like, I think having more people like creating content together has been really fun. Obviously, like this podcast is great.
Yeah.
Meeting you for the first time,
Yeah.
it's ton of fun. We made a bunch of videos this weekend, like either just small short form stuff like the trick shots or like the drop serve or
The kick, the paddle, the pickleball.
Pickleball.
Dude,
Pickleball's
everyone.
fun.
I don't know if you got messages, but
I
I
got
got so
messages.
many Instagram messages. I was like, "That's Pickleball." And here's the thing: I was like, "Why are people calling it Pickleball?" Because what I thought I asked was, "What do we name this shot?"
Yeah.
But basically, what I said was like, "What do we name this?" And then everyone thought it was like a game. So I mean, Pickleball still works, I guess, but it doesn't really sound like a shot.
No,
Right.
you're right.
You don't say like roll volleyball. You know what I mean? Like, so I kind of messed that one up. But silly stuff like that was like super fun over the weekend.
Yeah, we came up with some wild stuff.
Yeah. So I mean, do you have anything else you think would be fun to ask him, or even you, if you have stuff you want to talk about? Like, I feel like there are lots of things we all know because we talk to each other all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
But I think there's probably lots of random things either your audience, my audience, or whoever may not know about you. Obviously, like your routines and stuff has been cool. Like I didn't know about the note cards. Like that's pretty cool.
Very cool.
Yeah. I mean, dude, I don't really have too much right off the bat. I do think, though, that I would like to start vlogging more and like showing more of the behind the scenes. I think this format is amazing, right? Like going to a tournament, having all these experiences,
Yeah.
and then sharing it with the people at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And also, if anyone out there sees this and you like what you're seeing, like, why don't you do it yourself? I think we're all supportive of new content creators coming into
Yeah,
the scene.
for sure.
And we all say, like, a rising tide raises all ships, right? We
Yeah.
want more people making YouTube videos. We want more people making pickleball content.
Well, first of all, it makes the sport bigger.
Yeah.
So
Right.
that's a win for everyone.
Right.
Yep.
That's a benefit. And also, I feel like the content creation space, like there are people making content or whatever, but I really don't think it's that sad. Like, if you compare it to literally anything else,
Yeah.
gaming, like any other sport or whatever, super small in comparison. So like, there's plenty of room for people to make content. So like, if you're considering it all, you should probably just do it.
Come on
Yeah.
board. Maybe you'll be on the pod.
Yeah, there you go. Also, you guys should let us know what you think of having guests. We did this one because we're in person,
Right.
And because I'm such a snob, I only want
The
to do it if
biggest
we're gonna
snob.
do it right. I don't want the audio to be bad. I want everyone to have a good experience. That's kind of why we did this one. But I'd love to do more people in the future. You know, like Kyle McMakin. If we could just like mail him a microphone, he'd be hilarious.
Yeah, you
on the
should do that.
podcast.
Yeah.
Like maybe that's what I should do. I should just have a podcast microphone that I just mail back and forth.
Yep.
Yeah, you mail it, put it in a box, and then you can tell like whoever's the next guest is like, okay, this is the next address. Please mail it.
That's
It's
smart.
Like
That actually is
traveling
kinda smart.
microphone.
The traveling microphone.
yeah.
But then how do you get the SD card back?
I'll just make them send me the file over the internet or something. I
yeah,
guess.
we'll
work,
figure
that could
something
work.
out.
Yeah. We'll figure something out. But Kyle would actually be I bet he would have he was just like a wealth of knowledge the whole tournament.
Speaking of which, so I asked him about the story about the cowboy hat. Like,
Yeah.
why does he wear the cowboy hat? Maybe you'd like to know too. So the story is, legend has it,
Yes.
okay, that he was on his way to one of his first tournaments, like to Texas, okay, and he's from San Diego, okay. The story is he's going from San Diego and he's going to like some tournament in Texas, and he seems like a nice guy. So he stops. He sees some dude on the road with his car like messed up, or maybe he needs a jump or something like that, and he decides to stop and help him. And as he's rummaging through his trunk, and this guy is like a big burly Texas dude, and he's kind of intimidated. He's like, man, I don't know. But Kyle's like, no, I'm a good Samaritan. I'm gonna help this guy out. And Kyle's kind of like iffy. He's like kind of scared. So he goes to his trunk, pulls out whatever, maybe like some cables or something, right? And a bunch of pickleballs just like fall out of his trunk. And he's like, oh my gosh, I'm here in the middle of Texas. This guy like is huge, probably thinks, if he knows what pickleball is, probably thinks it's whack or like the most like, geriatric tennis thing. Like for him, he's like, oh my gosh, he's gonna make fun of me or whatever. And the Texas guy was like, dude, you play too? That's awesome or whatever. And then they get into talking or whatever. And the guy wishes him luck. And to wish him luck, he gives him his hat. Wow. And he goes to that tournament and like he either wins it outright or he does really well or something like that. And from that day forth, he just...
The hat legend was born.
The hat legend was born.
And now he's just got to wear it.
Right.
I mean, when you have an experience like that, you just got to keep it.
That's right.
Yeah.
I wonder if the same thing happened to Josiah and his jeans.
Somebody gifted Josiah. So like prior to pickleball, Josiah only wore shorts.
He was gifted a pair of jeans, and he's never taken them off.
Like, oh my gosh, what are these? I've only heard about them in stories of old.
And now he's like, this is the greatest thing ever, and only wears them. Truly, the jeans blows my mind. I mean, okay, seriously, think about the pickleball we played in the heat this weekend.
Yes. I was.
How hard do you think that would be in jeans? The jeans would stick.
No.
They add like 5 pounds when they're wet.
I had to switch shirts like 3 times.
Oh, I mean, you all saw my pickleball studio shirt after singles.
Yeah, you came
like,
out of a pool.
You could have like wringed that thing out and had like a bucket of water.
Yeah.
It was, I mean,
What
well,
a
actually,
visual.
I don't know which one of you it was during Federico's Stackstrud's singles match.
Sounds like he looks like you.
Yeah, it was it
Yeah,
you?
yeah, it was Shea.
It was like that's what you looked like in your singles match, and like you could see his shirt, his hat was like dripping onto the back of his shirt, and his shirt was just like stuck to him.
Yeah,
like the struggle's real, man. So I don't know what Josiah does. Maybe he has some like advanced training technique you need to.
He
look
lives
into
in Texas. That's what he does.
Yeah, there you go. If you live in Texas, you just don't sweat because you're so used to the heat.
He's coming out somewhere. He's like, dude, it's cold out here.
Probably, actually, though. Like he's just like, this isn't actually even that hot. But oh my goodness. Well, I think that's pretty much about it. If you guys don't have anything else, I think this was a good episode.
No, this is definitely a good episode. If you haven't and you don't already follow Shea, go to his YouTube channel, Road to Pro. Shea Underwood, follow him on his handles. Shea, you want to tell what the exact handles
it's
are?
literally just Shea, SHEA Underwood on all platforms. And by the way, a quick shout out to one of my sponsors, Georgia Mountain Pickleball Club. They're sponsoring me for all my tournaments this year. So
amazing.
Love you guys. You guys are the best.
I will have you know, I will be sending them an invoice for that shout. I'm just kidding.
What a stickler.
But I do keep joking every time. Who was it? Was it the stat? Yeah, it was the 002 stats when he mentioned that on the podcast. It's one of his friends. And I was like, dude, you can't be handing out those free shout outs. I was like, we're negative income on the podcast right now. Like we need to get some money from these. Hey, but maybe Duper and whoever else, they'll hit us up.
Should we start like a Patreon for the pod?
Oh my gosh. I don't know if the Patreon would go through, but if someone made it this far, maybe you're dedicated enough that you would give the Starving Podcast. Well, actually, you know what the joke is.
What?
Well, I know you know what the joke is, but people message me and they'll be like, I can't even remember what context these come up, but they're like, yeah, I would give money to the pod just so that Will can
Gets
eat
paid.
some food.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Not even so that you can get paid, but just so you can eat food.
Yes, that's right. Help these skinny bones.
Starving artists.
Starving artists.
Yes, but great episode, guys. This was a lot of fun.
So much fun.
Hope the rest of you enjoyed this very long episode. So we'll catch you guys later.
Do you want to do your intro, or sorry, your like outro jingle?
Do I have an outro jingle?
Yeah. Go ahead and do it.
I don't even know what it is. How about you do it? Oh, I don't even. Oh, you're talking about the podcast one?
Yeah.
I don't know. This is what we just did. That was the jingle. This is how I'm gonna end every podcast. I'm just gonna take this clip and put it over.
Yes.
So I hope you guys enjoy that one. All right.
All right. Catch you later.